can share this, right?
Should be able to. Yeah. Hello, everybody. We are back on Creator Spotlight, and we have one of our good friends, Anna, back with us tonight. It's been a while since we talked to her, so we figured we'd come back and see what she's been doing, where she's going, and just to talk about comics or anything else in general. Because you guys know how my channel goes. It's anything goes for here.
Okay.
So
Is there a way for me to share this onto my Facebook?
yes, if we share the
And hello.
all right.
Private chat, comments, join chat. Oh, I can connect my YouTube.
You
It's been
should
a while since
Yep, you should be able to connect yours to.
usually there's like a button for me to it's okay. I mean, I could just share your Does it stream to your Facebook too?
Now
Okay, YouTube.
only to my YouTube
All
because
right. Okay, that's no problem. Let's see.
well, I'm cheap. I take the free version of StreamYard.
Oh, I thought you can stream to Facebook even unless they changed it.
You can do one or the other. If you on the
Oh,
free
you
one, if you want to do
okay.
multiple, you have to have
How
two.
much is it for multiple?
I like 100 a month.
Okay.
So
That's a bit much.
yeah, and I do it, once or twice a month. So it's like, you know. But I bet there'll be some kind of plan that I probably could find later.
Okay.
All right. So first things first, we're going to do a giveaway today,
Oh,
and
really? Cool.
we are going to do a giveaway. We're going to do a giveaway for this one.
Oh, the chase. Hi, Cameron. Hi, Bruce.
Hey
Okay.
everybody. And so the giveaway is going to work like this, right? So this one is it's number 35 of 40. This is from Prismatic number 1 that Anna did. I got the whole chase set, and I really appreciate you, signing and doing everything for me like always.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys on good YouTube land, whoever stays the longest gets to get it. And
Oh,
I'll know because we'll see who comments at the end.
let's see. We do this. We hover this over. Have to like adjust. Zoom. Pepper is not. Hey, Dave. Speaking of
Hey,
them, yeah. So,
that's right.
did he know about this?
No, he had no idea.
Oh,
I thought about it today. I'm like, you know
okay.
what? I said we should give one of the books away. And then
Okay. Well,
also, Prismatic 2 is out there as well. So definitely everybody go check it out. And it's got some
yeah.
good books on there.
Prismatic. Yeah. I actually did 3 versions, and I think that's the first time I've done like, if for you people who like the full nude, I did the full nude, but the lingerie one's probably my favorite.
I I got them all. Well,
Oh, thank you.
but
Thank
you know
you.
me.
As always. Of course. You're always a number one supporter.
I got to support my friends. That's just how this works, right? And so we're going to do this
Let's see,
too. We're going
Prismatic 2. Let's see. I was trying to get the link because, Dave, you got to pay us, to share
Yeah, I put it in
free
the
advertisement.
comments. Hey, there's some free advertisement for you, Dave. So, so yeah,
Hi, Funko Steve.
hi.
Thanks for joining us.
And so there's been a lot going on. Anybody had a let's see. Awesome. Thank you, Dave.
Hmm.
So yeah, you've been really busy. Like the last time we hear, it was right before Prismatic came out, right? Everybody got their books and whatnot, right? And this is before Fan Expo and everything. So we got to hang out and talk during Expo as well. But you've been really busy, like really busy for doing a lot of things lately.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with artists, you have to keep busy because there was a time where I kind of like fell to where I got maybe too comfortable and I didn't do too much, and then, getting back into it can be a rut. And recently, the whole not getting I got waitlisted for New York Comic Con. And I
Oh,
was not happy about that. But it happens. I was told that a new Alex is running it all
mm,
himself, but it happens, and it's a good thing because that means new artists get to come in, right?
good.
It's just sad for some of us who, for example, Elias, he's been in there for 8 years. He got waitlisted. So
Oh,
when you're relying on that income, New York is an expensive show, but it's also a big income for a lot of people. Like even for small artists like me, you know, we gotta think of another way. It's not the end of the world, you know. We just gotta come up with other ways to make up the revenue for that month. But luckily, because like artists, we have to network, we
mm-hmm.
build relationships. Darren, Unknown Comics is my rep, but most all New York Comic Con is different from all the other cons. Every artist, no matter what, if you're high, low, professional, big name, you have to apply for Artist Alley. You have to get accepted. Even if you're a guest, you still have to apply.
Yep.
So usually Unknown Comics have several artists. Zerdy got in, Sabine got in. I didn't get in. David, they're doing something new with David. He kind of outgrown Artist Alley, so he has
Ah,
his own exhibitor booth upstairs next to Unknown Comic Books booth, which is something they're working on with several artists. So he has his own island, which is like really
that's
grand, and he
cool.
has his own like official Marvel pins too that they did. So that's like a big goal. But because of that, he didn't expect us to get rejected. So the big thing Unknown's been doing is a lot of X-Men guests. He has like
Hmm.
10 of
Yeah.
them rotating in and out this year. So he kind of doesn't have space for you, which is understandable because me as an artist, me taking up space is also taking money away from them. Because sure, I'm one of their artists, but I don't have a lot of covers with them, and it's understandable. So, but they're friends with Comic Sketch Art.
Yeah.
They have a lot of tables, and luckily they had some openings like for guests and stuff. And I was offered that opportunity. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna take it.
I would
But
don't
that
blame you.
but that doesn't just happen. Darren and Doug Peters from Comic Sketch Art, they have a building relationship, and I have a relationship with Darren. Doug knows me, so it's like they don't just offer to anyone, kind of thing. You have to know people, and that's what it's about too. Same with covers. Same with like any other shows if you want to have like spots or whatever. So I'm getting to go because of that. But it's like a 5-year building relationships. You get what I'm saying?
And
So I'm
that's
happy about that.
the thing, really. I mean, in general business, right? Networking is the actual how you get a job, typically, right?
Yes. Yes.
People. It isn't just that you know somebody. You got to know the right people. You got to know the people
Right.
that's taking care of everything. You got to get to know everybody. And in our community, it's even different compared to
Yes.
everything else, right? It's who you know can get you a cover, who you know can get you a writing spot, who you know can get you into a convention, right? Like you were talking about New York Comic Con. I've been there a couple of times. To me, that's one of the best shows you can go to as far as like if you want to see
For comic
comics.
artists
Yeah,
especially, yes.
yeah. It's not San Diego. I mean, I'm sorry. I went to San Diego for years and years and years and years, and you know what? It is a celebrity show now. That's all it
Yes.
is. It's not a comic show anymore.
Um
But but New York is still trying at least to hold on to that as much as possible.
the and it's not just sure it's knowing the right people, but you have to build that relationship too. It's not just, hey, I'm getting you a cover and then that's it. You just
That's
end
right.
end the chat there. Like, I mean, it's not like some people don't know how to do that and they feel like they're forced to, but in any work setting it just happens. Whether it be working for corporate or trying to climb up, you just got to know the right people, got to know how to building on it, because I've known some artists, sometimes artists, they get the job, they do it, and that's it. And then they're wondering how come they don't get the next cover. Well, I mean, there's other potential artists. There's always many, many, many artists around that are looking for jobs.
And I've
Some are
seen
more eager than
and
others.
I've seen a lot of the older artists, right? Like they're having a
Yeah.
resurgence of a lot of the older artists, that I've seen come back to the folk. Like Wills Protasios has been doing covers lately, and I've seen him doing things. So like you're going to see that, and it's because they've had these networks built for years and years and years, but two is that they want to do this. They're striving to do it, right? They have that like need, like I need to do this. Let me work with everybody that I know and try to work this out the best, the
And
easiest way.
my thing is, a lot of these older artists, they adapt. Some of them, like for example, Steve Butler.
Yep.
Steve is a local here. I've known him. Like, it's kind of cool that I know Steve Butler, kind of thing. And I, I didn't know who he was. And it's also the same local comic store that kind of helped him get all the Lady Death covers.
Yep.
It's networking. But Steve, he's old school guy. He did Silver Sable. He did Scarlet Spider.
Spider. Yep.
Um, very Jack Kirby influenced. These days, he loves the iPad. He loves doing modern work. He loves he works with his kids now in his
Yep.
own book. He's learning new techniques. He's learning how to do TikTok and live streams. It's actually very, very fun to watch him adapt with the times and grow. He's like, oh my god, I was selling this away for like $100 back then, and now it's like thousands of dollars, and he's like seeing it. He's not grumpy about it. He's
No.
happy. He's grateful. He's humble. So, yeah. And speaking of San Diego, my first San Diego was 2019. I worked with CGC. I met CGC. I
Hmm.
asked them because this was what Ryan Kincaid suggested to me because he did it. So we ping pong ideas. I asked CGC if I can come as a guest, and they're like, "Cool, sure, one day at the booth." But they gave me a ticket for 4 days. I'm like, "Cool,"
Ah.
so that time I also hung out with Art Germ and his crew and helped him a little bit. But I went to SDCC. I'm like, okay, this is the big show. This is the big hype. It's crazy.
It
They're comic
is.
artists, but this is 2019. It was a big entertainment and industry. WB there, Lucasfilms there, Marvel's there, DC's there, but it's all entertainment. Everybody's in the hall age camping, right?
Yep.
Artist Alley is like very puny, and everybody gets like 4 foot of space. I see Ryan Kincaid squished in like half a table. I'm like, cool. If you make your money, cool. But for me, I was done shopping in 4 hours because everything was a ticket or a line.
Yeah. Like
Near,
literally,
yeah.
I hated that part. Like you see the people that sit outside Hall H for
Oh
days
yeah,
in advance before going to it.
yeah,
And I spent my time sitting with the old guys like Neil Adams and those guys
yeah,
just to learn, like how it was back then, right in the 70s and 80s, because you're never going to get that connection again. So I got to learn a lot from those guys, and that's what I did. Everybody else was buying like all the stuff and the toys, and I was like, you know what, y'all have this. I'll go sit in this alley with these old guys, and we'll talk. And then I got to learn about some of the new people that were coming around at that time. And we're talking like this is 2012, 2013, right? When MCU was getting really big
yeah,
at that time, right? Big Bang Theory was still on TV, right? So everybody's wanting that. But then you see all these old guys, like Stan Lee was still coming to the con, right? And it was nice to finally get to like see some of these guys, but
yeah.
I wasn't going to wait in that line anymore.
No.
I got tired of that. And that's one reason why when they went to the lottery system that San Diego does now, they kind of alienated a lot of the people that used to go to it. Because like I went for almost 20 years, right? And it's like now I have to compete with everybody else. And Ryan was telling me too, even like if he doesn't like keep going to San
Yes.
Diego, he loses his spot.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's just ridiculous. Come on
That's
now.
how exhibitors don't get spot. Unknown Comics, one of the biggest comic retailers, does not have a spot. He has to buy tables off other people, kind of thing. Artists, it's because they also allow rebooking the following year. So, San Diego is a big entertainment. In New York, thank God for Artist Alley downstairs. We have our own area, all comics. Then we get the nice smaller ones. Like this weekend, South Alabama Comic Con. Uncle Steve met me there. South Alabama Comic Con is first time con, local. I think every city needs a little con for people
Mm-hmm.
who can't travel. It was advertised as a Comic Con. They had comic guests. Butler and I were there. There's cosplays. But it's these cons that allow people to actually, I get to interact with them. People get to know the artists, interact, get commissions, and not have to like wait in line and all that. So yeah, and then Funko sees
Yeah.
who are your big influencers?
Yeah.
Um, in terms of like my style, my artists, I gotta be Sailor Moon and all that. But in terms of artists, the biggest one is probably Art Germ. I followed him Deviant Art Days. This was before it's all AI driven now on DeviantArt. They
Uh,
sold us out. They
yeah.
sold all the info to OpenAI. Um, Back then the giants were Archerm, Alvin Lee,
Yeah.
Alvin Lee and his Capcoms, Sakimi Chan is right now she does a lot of 18 plus stuff, but back in the she was very young, and I found out she was my friend's roommate. She's very young, but she's the one that started the whole Patreon thing.
Mm.
When Patreon started, she did the tiers, the tutorials, teaching anatomy, and right now, I think she makes about 50 to 90 grand a month because she's built that for so many. She has like 5,000 follower payers every month. She's a big name. Loesch. A lot of people in the comic industry does not don't know her, but she's a big one that does a lot of teaching, and a lot of the covers these days are actually heavily influenced by her, Archerm and Sakimi. Yeah. Don't be alarmed, but there's a tiger behind you. Oh,
Exactly. Kitty.
Kitty? Oh yeah, yeah. She's a little tiger. She's a little tiger. Yeah. She's that's Pepper. Yeah, that's her favorite box right there. I can't throw that box away.
You throw that away, she's gonna get mad.
No, she has her favorite banana in there, her favorite paper, and catnip, and then my dog's under me right now. But yeah, Archerm's a big influence. All his art is humble. He's a teacher. He teaches art. But he teaches art like he teaches fundamentals. And I am very grateful, happy, be able to meet him. I was very starstruck. A lot of people get starstruck by like, Jim Lee, right? I get it. I would too. Stanley, but I never grew up with comics.
Mm.
So this was starstruck for me, or like meeting the creator of Sailor Moon kind of thing.
Well, that's the
Um,
thing too, right? Like it's a different generation, right? Like you and me are actually two different generations of comics, right? Like
yeah,
I grew up, with the 80s and 90s. So like Jim Lee, like I got to see him and
yeah,
get free signatures when he was still doing X-Men, right? And meeting Todd McFarlane for the first time. Like you meet all these guys. It was cool because Image was the new thing back then. But now it's like they've progressed so much, right? Like into their careers, like they're not at that same level that they were at anymore, right? Like you're not going to walk up to Jim Lee and get a free signature.
Frank
Like I,
Miller. Oh,
Frank,
there's a
no,
tiger.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
even people with Frank Miller. Um, Shoot, even the more Scotty Young, Adam Hughes. See,
oh
those. Yeah, it's hard to get anything from them these days. Scotty doesn't even do commissions anymore.
no, I got his new Marvel poster from Scotty Young signed by him, and that was still a good cost, right? Just to get a signature from him because he's just so busy of what he
Yeah,
does. Like Adam Hughes, I mean, I remember when he first came out, right in the '90s, and I was like, this is some great artwork. I love seeing
yeah, yeah.
Mike Mayhew is another one, right? Like Mayhew's art was him and Jusco did great with Vampirella back then, and it's like,
Mayhew's watercolors. I have
oh
some.
yeah,
Yeah. Now I've seen Mayhew do more digital. Him and Greg Horn. I personally I miss the old Greg Horn and Mayhew art, like the
yeah.
traditional. But that's just me. Um, but they're adapting. That's fine. Oh, there's a tiger.
There's a ACN.
Hello. Um, I didn't even think of her as a little tiger, but seeing her stripes. So,
Uh,
her she actually has like the reason her name's Pepper is nothing. I'm not trying to copy Sora or anything. She has little speckles of pepper dust like on her fur, and she
mm,
has black toe beans. It's not pink;
ah,
it's black toe beans.
okay.
So yeah, and then she's kind of big for a cat too. She's like 13 pounds, but she's not fat.
That's how my
She,
cat is.
Mhm.
He's just turned a year and he's about 11 pounds, but
Ooh, this is a big cat.
he's a big cat. But it's like it's like when you pick him up, you're picking him
Oh yeah,
up.
but they are nice. So she I think she tries to be a dog because she's raised about my dog. Um, she would lay on my chest when I wake up, so it's like a weighted blanket. And then she like kneads my face, like the bakery, the loaf.
Yep, the bread, making
It's
the
cute.
bread.
Yeah, it's cute. So with some of these artists, Archer these days, I look up to In Lee, and he is crazy. He is he does so much in a month, but let me tell you, that guy, he's also a teacher in some way. He does tutorials, but he got the basic fundamentals down to where he could knock out a drawing and a painting really quick. Like I think it was New York Comic Con last year or the year before. He was doing 80 to 100 remarks. It's just the same spider head,
Yeah,
but that guy likes money.
he does.
Yeah, but he just knocks out. It's different looks too. But if you see him draw, like he knows what he's doing. He's very confident with his lines, and he knocks out so many covers. And everybody's trying to be like, but look, he's an insane level. Don't try to be like him. It's unhealthy. I
Mm.
mean, when you get to that level, sure, but just work at your own pace.
Make
Work
your
at your
own
own pace.
make your own stance in the sand, right? Like make it your own, right? And that's what you've done with your style, right? You made
Mhm.
it your own style as far as like it looks more manga-esque, right? And
Yeah.
like everybody knows typically what Anna's ones look like, except for something like this, right? So like this one is a little different, right? This is not your normal standard that you would see, right? And so
See,
this
I
one,
didn't color it. That's
so,
why. That's
ah,
two. I didn't color it.
yep,
Which also makes a big difference with the colorist you choose.
it does.
That one is Hedwin Zalva. He's colored my Hell Trips before, but that's also colors I would have chosen. So that's why having the good colorist, like it really does bring you out and makes it look different. I've had CC color my work. I love it. And working at your own pace these days. So when I started, I had the mindset of do as much, do as many. I did 3, 4 covers a month. But I was like always, I was weird about my time management. I'm still weird about my time management and deadlines now. And Darren from Unknown Comics, he's talked to me about this back in 2020 that I need to focus on just one cover a month. One cover because I need to focus on my lines, my anatomy, because at that time, I didn't really I just drew to I draw to draw. I didn't really
Hmm.
like do it for commercial purposes or anything like that. I just draw what I liked. But when you do it for commercial purposes, you really got to present a really nice image, not just because it's what you liked. Um, so he wanted me to focus on my lines, fundamentals, and when it came to color, I can learn a bit, but probably most likely let someone else color so I can learn from that. It's been years. I was kind of I'm very stubborn. Sometimes I don't learn. Because for me, sometimes a colorist, I feel like it's not me. What
Hmm.
I'm selling to people is not me. It makes my lines look different. It changes how I look. It's something it I still am kind of weird about it, but I've learned to let go more this year. Um, I liked how Cece looked. I liked how Hedwin looked, and then I had Darren really liked Zerdy's colors. Zerdy's a great friend of mine
Hmm.
that I've come to know, and he's helped me with Red Sonja. He's helped me with Vampirilla. And I've been to his place, him and his lovely wife. He's taught me how he colors, his tips. You learn from other artists too.
That's right.
Um, you're not trying to adapt their style, but you learn tips and techniques that they use to uh you can build on. Now, Artgerm has shown me too. He's shown me tutorials on color theory, light theory, which I'm very grateful for. And uh, I think these days, even the recent Kickstarter, Kill Cam 2 is supposed to come out tonight.
Tonight's supposed. Yep.
That
Supposed to
cover,
go.
like, I should have used a colorist because I took four, 3 whole days of just sitting and coloring all night back and forth, nitpicking my color choices, how I rendered, and even the final, because we have to change it to CMYK for print. A lot of my neons didn't show up, so I had to adjust.
Ugh.
And these are things colorists are used to, you know? And so and this is where in my mind's like, I really should just focus on my lines because I'm much faster with that and let a colorist handle it. And it'll just be trial and error from then on. And that's something that I talked to Darren at another con recently because, what was it? Obviously, everybody's goal is to do a cover at least for DC Marvel, right? That's
Yep.
always been a goal of mine. I mean, I never grew up with comics, but it's a goal. It's cool. DC recently did a retail exclusives, usually a 3,000 print run, 1,000. You have to order that much. That's a $15,000 to $20,000 investment for a retailer to even want to hire you to do a cover, right? That's why there's wholesales. But recently, their absolute line and another line, they lowered that to 1,000 print run,
Okay.
which is very doable for most retailers now. It's still a high price, but I think it's still about a $7 price point per book.
That's not bad.
It's still a big investment, but it's
Yeah.
more doable, especially seeing how so I don't like to jump like print runs you got 10, 15, 50,
Mm.
100, 500. I like to stay in the 500 print run range. I feel like I can sell that many. Lilo and Stitch, that was 1,000 print run. We sold that. I mean, it's Lilo and Stitch, but it was a great cover. It
I loved
sold
it.
out like I have some copies left. Oh, South Alabama Comic Con. I didn't so many Stitch fans. People who weren't even into comics wanted to buy it, which is a great sell, by the way, because that means they might get into comics. A
Especially,
direct Disney line.
yeah, because if it's a Disney character, right? Like a lot of people love Disney, they just might not love comics, right? And so
Right.
it opens those doors for other potential. Like, oh, this is what it is. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
this is another story that wasn't in the movie, right? This is a side
Yeah.
story, and so it might open up that aperture for people a lot.
Like the last weekend at South Am, a lot of people were not comic people. They didn't know they were thinking I was selling small prints. They didn't know they were comics. So that opens a whole, a collector base or oh, I'm drinking Bang Energy. That I like my energy drinks from time to time. If I really need a kick, I drink Bang. This is not a sponsored ad.
Nope, I don't get paid nothing on this one.
But it's also some clean. Sometimes I like Celsius. But this one really gives a kick. I think it's like 300, 300 milligram or 180. I don't remember. Um, but I sip throughout the day because if you just chug it, you're going to get a headache and you're going to be dependent on caffeine.
Mm.
So comics, Disney, good sell, 1,000 print run. We did that, and that's what he tried to sell me. He's like, Anna, that was 1,000 print run. You did that, so we can. But the thing to get to DC levels is has to be a good cover. It's not just what I can sell; is what they can sell. Like I can get fans, but they got to sell it too. And a great colorist. My colors are still lacking in their eyes. More so, the colors are lacking for a comic level of Marvel and DC. How I color is maybe more for like a Zenoscope.
Yeah.
That Zenoscope is something I'm trying to get in as well. Dave Sweet has really been helping me with that. I would love to do direct covers with Zenoscope and Dynamite.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that so at my own pace. I mean, now I do some of my own projects. I do 1 or 2 covers a month. I'm usually booked out. Um, right now I have 4 covers lined up, 5. Usually I'm at a point where I can turn things down. I'm fortunate, but that's years of building. And some people say I work slow, it's only 1 cover a month. Well, I'm working at my own pace. I'm learning. I'm not trying to churn out money or whatever. That's what, other my merchandise is for. I'm trying to give people a good picture, a good product. Kill cam too. I really like that pose. I learned some new things while working on it. Is it launched?
It is. I just put it into the comments.
Oh,
And so what
I
I'm
wonder
going
if
to
I can show it
I'm
here.
going to show it. Yep, I've already got it pulled up.
I
So
wonder
let
if I
me
can share screen.
present, share screen. And go.
Window. StreamYard, BattleNet, Chrome tab. No, not my Chrome tab. Oh, that's yeah, that screen.
Yep.
Cause Killcam, I like the pose. I like the coloring. Well, I can't show the nude.
Oh yeah,
There's
you can.
no-
I'm
Oh
not
wait.
I'm not
Oh.
monetized. You can show
Oh.
everything.
Okay. Well, well, well. Well, 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 well. How do I share? Present. Share screen.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. Okay. Share this screen. Is it showing on the bottom tab?
Uh-uh. So let me try it real fast.
You would have to switch windows.
Okay. There we go.
And then I
So
have one down there.
so let me there you
Woo!
go.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys see that?
Yeah, it's a infinite. So
Why is it on infinite?
it's not showing the actual thing.
Oh,
Okay, so let's just do it this way.
maybe I have to share. Oh, I have to share entire screen. Okay. I got it. I got it.
There you
I
go.
think I got it.
So,
Oh yeah. Killcap.
yep.
This was a fun character. I presented her another layout, which was the furry girl, the kangaroo girl, but this one stuck out. But yeah, this one was fun, and of course the nude version. But this was supposed to be like more neon green, but it grayed out ish, but not too gray or anything like
Mhm.
that.
And it still has the highlights in it too. You can see like the
Yeah,
spot, the lights coming down on top of her, right? And you can see where it's like on her face, on her chest, and then on the sides next to her legs.
yeah. And that's the thing. Like it's CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So a lot of colors don't exist on print. But there are workarounds. The problematic ones are usually reds and greens. But I think this turned out good enough, I suppose. Was it? Oh, and now I recently did something. So I got this one, and then prismatic. Do I have it saved? I've changed a lot of my folders and where to save certain things. Oh, this is the other cover I did for them. My Metal Girl. There's another one for Ethereal, My Metal Girl. This was fun too. These type of covers let me work on anatomy more that I normally don't get to do.
And I like how you have the actual lines in her legs, right,
Yeah.
her
Oh,
knees.
these are
Okay,
she's a robot, or well, she's
correct.
a yeah,
Android kind of, yeah.
yeah, but she still has like flesh. And then you got the prismatic. So this so what I did here is I these were the original colors, but for me it's kind of weird to have the same lighting or the same look every cover, so I played with the lighting a bit and I changed it. It gets darker as she gets like more clothes off. So this one I got to play with, anatomy too. And that's how I see these projects. It's not just drawing a sexy cover. It's me learning in a way. I always try to learn something new every cover.
And its proportions too, right? Like making
Yes.
it proportionate. Because you'd asked that question earlier today, right? And I saved
Oh
it for
yeah,
you. And and to me, like, right, it depends on the style that you're going for, right? If you're going
right.
for an anime manga look, it's going to be a little bit more bigger because that's typically how it's drawn a lot of the time. But if you're trying to do a little more like pseudo realistic slash normal comics, right? We do a lot of proportions, right? And it seems like it does better. Now, granted, there's always guys and there's always girls that like the big ones, right? And
Mhm.
that's out there, but that's not what a lot of people see, right? They want to like this, for example, the My Metal Girl. She's proportionate with her size, right? So it's like
Mhm.
it's not overdone. She's an android, so it could have been a lot bigger, right?
Right.
But but it wasn't done. It was done with taste. Like there's a difference between just being overly big versus having good taste in the
Right.
work that you do. Um, and that's why I appreciate what you do, right? Because you actually have good taste when doing drawing, and I
Thanks.
appreciate that.
I apologize for the nudity. I don't Nudity is not all I do. It's not what I mainly do. It's just something I like to do on the side. But I don't have all the other covers. This is okay. What about bloody? Now, the thing is, um, with I don't know, some people exaggerate the chest sizes a bit too much.
Yep.
This one,
Oh yeah, you and Zerdy on this one. I
yeah,
remember
30
this.
on this one. Uh, yeah, Zuri likes to draw the big chest too,
Yeah,
but it's nice way, not overly exaggerated to the point where it just out of place. Some people like to draw the big chest very small ways and big, back.
yeah,
But that's just what some people like. But I feel like as a comic artist, especially if you go to cons, sure you like to if you like to draw that or if you want to do nude in the comic industry, you got to be careful because a lot of these cons, kids also attend, parents also attend.
correct.
Um, Not everybody likes it. And I get it. If that's mainly your thing, you sell it, but that's not mainly my thing, and I don't want to be shown as that artist because I want to do Marvel and DC. It is very frowned upon, by the way, um, for them to like Google your name and
And
they
fine,
found because I actually had some artist friends. I only know this because I work with Darren, and sometimes people tell me things, right? There's some artists, great talent. They deserve a Marvel DC cover. But the editors looked them up and all they saw was nude.
yeah,
That's a red flag. Um, so that's why you can't get on the list. But, it's okay to do on the side, but that's why most of the time when I do things like that, I kind of hide it. I don't really advertise it out in the open. It's very
mm,
hard to advertise it too because of my family, and not everybody likes it, so I'm not gonna force it on people.
exactly. I mean, that's the thing too, right? Is it's a choice, right? It gives
Mhm.
people a choice if they want it or not, right?
Right.
We're not pushing like I'm not a big one on it, right? Like I'll get some here and there, right?
Yeah.
Like as far as like especially if it's like part of a package, right? Like the 3 pack of books, right? Like I'll get it like
Mhm.
okay, it'll be in there. But I'm actually looking at the trade cover, right? Or the
Mhm.
virgin a lot of the time first, right, to see how it was done, and then the risque, no problem with that. It doesn't
Yeah.
bother me. I mean, but the nude piece is where it gets a lot of people, right? Like it there's a fine line with that, right?
Yeah.
It's still artwork, right? And that's what people have to
Right.
remember, right? It's art. It just might not be the art that you like, and that's okay. Everybody can have a difference of opinion about it, right? You
Mhm.
don't have to like it, but if you do, then there's something for you there too. So I mean, that's like with ethereal, right? Like I work with them a lot, right? And there's a
Uh-huh.
lot of stuff that they do, right? It's borderline, right? And they actually have the red label for that reason,
Yeah.
just
And I don't do any of their red labels. I mean, even for this one, Kill Cam, like I mean, I'm the one that offered to do the full nude because I think it looks nice. Otherwise, if someone presented it to me, I wouldn't have done it. I would have to like want to do it, and if it fits with them, even for Dave. But then I do things like this. This I can force it on people because it's
you
cute
force that
and
all
it's
day.
yeah. I will force that all day. I was the other one, Powerpuff Girl. I think I have it in my Google Drive
Yep.
instead. I love the Powerpuff Girl one. That's a great, Oh, that's I'm not organized. These are actually all. This is my Google Drive of all the covers that I've done, or most of them. PPG. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. I can
It's
force that on people. If someone takes offense to this, I have an issue with you.
we gotta have a different conversation.
I'm very confused. Good evening. Yeah. See, and I was talking to Lyrics. I was talking to Lyrics in the morning. Me and her and I have been like chatting, and we're actually going to hang out in New York too. She's coming to New York solo. She will have a booth if you follow her. Uh, she'll be with Pat Shand, KRS, and Unknown Comics. So we were talking about edits. Marvel edited her Psylocke cover. They
What?
had they had to reduce her butt.
Come on
Oh yeah,
now.
like a highlight. It's a Zerdy tells me saying sometimes they reduce the breast size. DC does that too. Breast size. You can't show too much skin. Edits all over, right? Um, we were talking about it's the new Psylocke. The new Psylocke. They're allowed to draw the old, Quanon,
Yeah.
the leotard, the onesie. Her new outfit is all covered with a
Yeah.
jacket, all
Yeah. Like
covered.
it's just like her old days when she first started, right? Like she had
Right.
they had the full suit, and we were like, who is she? Like it was enigmatic at the time, right? And then it kind of changed with the whole like being possessed and not really being her, being Quanon versus being Psylocke. I'm like, okay, that's a big spin in the comic series, but that '90s design of the Leozard, that's what everybody knows Psylocke for.
Right. So, new outfit, cool, whatever, right? But that's characters these days. They try to cover them up. I get it. I get it. But that's who she is though. The character,
Yeah,
right?
that is her character.
It's like Wonder Woman, her old outfit. That's her. Now you try to cover her up. I get it. But yeah. I mean, yeah, blue star spangled trunk for years. Nobody felt disgusted. Yeah. There you go. Um It is what it is. But some covers are fitting for others. Some are not. Like the person in your chat, they don't like nudity. I get it.
That's okay.
Get it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, so many different covers, so many different styles. So as artists, I think people should be. I think artists should be flexible. Focus on your lines. Focus on drawing your fundamentals. I've seen some artists, work for 30 years and still can't draw hands.
Or feet.
Like, what are you doing? Feet practice sometimes. It's good for you. Um. So yeah, there's a lot of things about art. It's about growth too, right? You work on your networking, work on your drawings, and of course, it's not just about talent.
I mean,
Talent only gets you so far.
you got to work it too, right? And you got to be able to come out of your shell. right? And that's the one thing, right? In our industry, it's huge. You've got to be able to go talk to people and say, where can I get from here from A to Z, right? And then once you start working that together, people are going to see it and get pushing you out. Like, for example, Prismatic doing that one. I never met David before that, but I knew you, right? And so that brought me to that book. That's kind of that learning experience of bridging the gap, right? You start learning that there's other things out there to do. Like, and I still read my books too, right? So there's really two kind of collectors now, right? You've got the cover collectors, right, who does all that, and then you have the guys who actually still want to read the book. And so I try to read as much as I can, but digital has made it a lot easier, right, for a lot of us. So we can just read it on our phone or iPad, and then keep the books good to go. Um,
And the
but
thing, go ahead.
I was going to say I've learned that over time, right, with the network side, right, is that once you start networking with other people, you can see it. Like I didn't like Marat; he just did the Gargoyles cover for Dynamite, right? And so I was like, dude, this is awesome. I actually get to see Marat Michaels back in like one of the bigger companies, right? It's cool to see him do that because I was a fan of his back when he was doing Brigade with Rob Liefeld, but way back when, and Matsuda was still there. So it was cool to see like the evolution of some of these artists and writers, but then getting to see like they're still doing what they love, right? they're
Yeah.
still they're still working with all the same people. We've got a lot of new artists, a lot of new people, but there's been a lot of good I've seen, and this is positive things, right? Like I've seen a lot of artists, people get together, right, and they're trying to
Hmm.
help one another a lot lately, whereas it didn't really feel like that in the 90s, right? It was, let's make my name because that's my name, right? And
I
I
think
don't see that as much. It's still there, but I just don't see it as much.
I think everybody was, being an artist hard. It was very frowned upon. It was hard to get jobs back then.
Yep.
Like, I think everybody was for themselves, sort of. Now, pop culture, nerd culture, comic is mainstream now.
Yep.
I'm all about the whole being together, helping each other. Like, any artist can message me. I will help you if I can. If you don't listen, that's on you.
That's right.
And I will provide you info however I can. I think it was Micro messaged me the other day, asking about Conda stuff. I was happy to, share whatever experience I have. He doesn't get to go to cons often either,
Hmm.
and he's a professional. Oh, Rob Liefeld draws the best feet. Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That man has a cameo in the Deadpool movie with, Rob's feet shoe thing. Okay,
Yep.
I don't know Rob. A lot of people don't like him. It's whatever. But that man knows how to sell. He's a business guy.
Yep.
Like I said, it's not always about how you draw. It's how you sell too, and who you network with. I mean, look at Marat and his Do You Poo. A lot of people
Yep.
don't like it, but to me, it's the funniest thing ever. It's all meme. It's funny. Some
Yeah.
people collect it, some people don't. It's okay. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. But you cannot knock on people's hustle, people, trying things. So yeah. What do you have no problem drawing? What's hard? I mean, speaking of feet, I actually couldn't draw feet for the longest time, but it's not hard. I have the mentality of nothing is really hard because you just have to put enough time and practice into it. It's like learning your ABCs and one, two, threes. To
Hmm.
me, everybody can be an artist if they want to. I think the most common thing people say to us as artists is, I can't even draw a stick figure. And you know what I tell them? Stick figures can evolve. You can add clothes to it, you can add hands to it, you can add hair to it, and little by little. I did not grow up drawing. I was actually rejected from art school in high school. I did not know how to draw really well. I didn't know how to color really well. I just did whatever. I didn't learn the traditional way. I didn't learn value. I learned as I went. So right now, my focus is very heavily on legs and feet. If you, I was going to post a work in progress video. It's like 20 minutes long time lapse of the kill cam cover, and you
Hmm.
can tell how much time I spent back and forth on her legs, her leg muscles, because I looked it up. Know where the certain quads are, the inner legs, her buttocks, and everything. And feet. Emmanuel's a big feet guy. We all know Emmanuel.
Yep.
But and Scott Blair, rest in peace.
Yep.
I learned feet from them. Um, I think for certain drawings, if you want to do full body, feet are important. You can't unless you have shoes, then you can draw a triangle, right?
Exactly.
But sometimes it adds a little, sensual, sexy look to it. Um, but I learned as I went. When I started, my focus was on the face and the eyes. It's like every anime person is always the eyes. That's why I think I do very well with face and eyes. And then it was the hands. I'm always about gesture. So you gotta have nice hands, and even especially with AI these days,
6
hands is like,
fingers.
oh, the
Hmm.
thunderbolts. That was just a bad photo. To me, it was a bad Photoshop. It wasn't AI. But like, I have chubby hands. Look, it looks like a six finger. Yeah, I have chubby hands. I have big hands. But the thing is, hands are so important to pinpoint certain things. And with AI, hands are the first thing people try to look for. But AI is so advanced now, it's not even hands anymore.
No.
I'm in these AI groups just to snoop because I always try to keep up with what's going on in the court with AI
Yeah.
and open AI. Um, they're so real. There's still a fake plastic sheen on it. And there's still hints of little details, things artists wouldn't do if they drew, because we are very particular. We are perfectionists. We won't let up certain mistakes, especially shading, lighting. So that's why how we can tell if it was photobashed, if it was edited, if it's, use some sort of mix AI or AI as a reference because of the lighting. That's something that a lot of people have been doing, using as reference. But yeah, hands, then upper body parts. How I learned from Archer how to draw the clavicles. I think this is
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Lateral. Yeah.
correctly to connect to the chest, and the shoulder blades. So this is where I don't even go to Google for certain things anymore. I go if you want to learn anatomy, look at the old school art books, sculptures, anatomy and physiology books. Um, so shading and lighting. Yeah, shading and lighting. You have to think realistically. I think photos help. Grayscale helps.
Mm.
I think for me right now, I'm sort of learning more of shading that's more 3D instead of 2D because anime is all 2D, right? So
Yeah.
I'm used to cell shading, but then you gotta want to go further ahead depending on how your overall look feels. The overall look you got to do, the ambience, the rim light, the environment that affects it, and all that. But I would suggest looking at the picture, doing grayscale. Practice your grayscale first. Yeah, model statues.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are great. I think it was Anatomy for Sculptors, if you want to look that up too. And free poses and actions. There's so many old school references that you can find. I think another one is TB Choi. She's an artist that likes to break down the body parts for you and show you. Of course, we don't, us as artists, we don't really draw every freaking muscle unless you want to draw Superman or Batman.
Unless you're Rob Liefeld and you want
Or
to
that.
draw,
Oh
you
my
want,
god.
yeah.
And here's another thing. If you line weight, line weight. I've noticed a lot of people when they draw females, they add heavy lines and chisel them out. If that's your style, if that's your thing, good. But if you want to do more, if you want something to look more refined, all that, look at your line weight and how heavy your ink is. There's different pens too. I also prefer traditional, different pens. Microns, different sizes. If you want something to look heavier, yeah. Jim Lee. Ah, yeah. But Jim
Yeah,
Lee, honestly, Jim Lee didn't really get to the whole Jim Lee level without Scott Williams, his inker.
exactly.
He learned a lot from Scott Williams. So they go hand in hand.
And I think that's the difference too, right? Back then, you had it so broken out, right? You had
Hmm.
your penciler, you had your inker, your
Hmm.
dedicated inker, colorist, letterer, right? It was a four-stage process back then. Today's changed a lot of that, where there's a lot of artists doing their pencils and they're doing their inks, right?
Yeah.
Because they want it to look the way they want it to look, right? Yeah, and I can understand that too, right? Because like if you take a pencil and then you take the ink and you overdo it, right? You just destroyed the pencil look, right? You destroyed the look that you might have been going for. But then there's the opposite too, right? Where sometimes other inkers can pull it out even more.
Oh, the my favorite one these is Delso Corona and Brett Booth. Brett
Yep,
Booth and Delso, they
yep,
work great. Tom McFarlane, yeah, your inker needs to understand your hot mess of a pencil. A lot of us artists these days, we can do our own pencil ink because we do tight lines on pencils.
yep,
With digital, you can just immediately turn that into a blue line and color straight in and edit as you go. So I think these days, more people, even for me, use a flatter, a colorist flatter. I
yep.
know Sabine does that too. We pay a flatter to because that is tedious. Pay a flatter, we pay a colorist. Some of us still pay inkers. I know Sora uses an inker for
Yeah,
her
Juan
work.
Juan Castro. I've talked to him
Yeah,
a couple of times, and he's done phenomenal with what he does.
yeah,
But he really pays attention to what the lines are too,
right.
and he's not trying to
Sora lays
overdo it.
Sora lays really good pencil lines too. And for even for me, I can do both. So I don't really feel like I can do digital too. I don't feel the need to have an inker unless I do like chicken scratch. But colors, flatters are important. It saves you so much time. Um, I think Mustafa still does ink. I haven't heard Jeremy Clark in a while. Uh,
I saw him do a couple for Aquitas, and
okay.
that for their with Tone Rodriguez and those guys, but
Yeah.
he hasn't done a lot for like
But a
Coffin
ton of
and those
those
guys.
but a ton of those guys don't need an inker. I
They
think that,
don't.
they offer jobs for them. That's great, but a lot of them don't need inkers. Sadly, inking is a it's tough these days to do inking. So I see a lot of inkers. They do multiple things. They also color their own work too now.
Hmm.
They do more than just that. So it's adapting.
Yeah.
Industry is always changing. What we need is always changing. So I always tell people like it's not really the whole adapt or die kind of thing. It's adapt to elevate your work.
Hmm.
Let's see. Any music you listen to? Oh yeah, I listen to music all the time. I like background noise. Sometimes, if I'm in the mood, I'm a very big EDM type of person. Sometimes I do classical. Sometimes I do, K-pop, Korean.
See, I do J-pop and I do that kind of stuff because growing up with anime as a kid, right, I learned a lot of like the classical anime, Yoko Kanno and those, that did, Macross and
Oh yeah,
Gundam, all those guys. And I was like, and I've always listened to it, and just seeing the evolution of music lately has been great. But then you also see too a lot of the same, right? It's the same sound, and it's like, okay, I want to see something different, right? And so you'll get some of the old people come back out, like Mary Ajima does not sound good anymore. She does not sound good at all in person. And it's just because it's been 40 years since she did Macross. So it's like there's something to be said about that.
it's,
It does.
what was it? A lot of people have been flaming the new Linkin Park lead, the
Oh,
female.
yeah.
No one's going to replace Chester. You're not going to have another
No,
Chester. She's good. She's good
she
for what
is good.
um
I heard the Crown song this morning for the first
yeah.
time.
They used those songs for the big League of Legend Worlds Cup. They also did one for Arcane season 2.
Hmm.
Um I mean, they're good for what it is.
I mean, it's a new iteration. It was no different than when Chester was with Stone Temple Pilots, right? It was
Yeah.
like it's an evolution of the band. It's not saying that it was any less or more. It's just it's different. right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. I appreciate having New Linkin Park music because I grew up with them when I was, younger, and that's what they came out. I was like, ooh, this sounds different, something different than the grunge I listened to from the early '90s.
And I think that is also with art. Um, there are a lot of people coming out with different styles, different types of way to do art. It's all art. It's just, if it's your cup of tea, your cup of tea. If it's not, it's not. Um, like Rose Besh, a lot of people don't like her style, but some of us do. It's newer. It's not something we're used to.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, if you're used to the older art, I mean, they're still around, but sometimes the new one, it also kind of gives hope to the newer generations. Just like
Hmm.
music that they can do it, especially seeing a female that they can do it too. Um, and that's how it is then when I go to cons and people see that, you know, I mean, I hate to bring the whole s- gender into the thing, but comic industry is male dominant.
It it always has
It's
been.
still male dominant.
And it's going to be one of those things. It's going to take time, I think, for it to even out. But for hard rock and heavy metal now, right? There's a lot of female bands out there,
Yeah,
right? That sound just as good, if not better. Some of the male bands now, right?
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Warning, Hailstorm, and those ones, right?
Hailstorm.
You know,
And that's the thing. So when I go to cons and people see me, especially the girls, the little girls, even the kids, like the fact that they see me up there, they feel like they can do it too, and that there's a little hope for them. Um, or my style, the whole anime style, manga style being accepted into the American comic industry, the cartoon industry. Uh, even TV shows, things that are more arcane. It's more
hmm
anime like than cartoon. Like it builds a whole new generation of possibilities, and I think it's great. Sure, yeah, every now and then, people are nostalgic and they miss the old. I mean, it's still there. So, I think as think about who you're influencing too. So, yeah,
and
Warner
that's
Smash.
and and if we don't sell it to a new generation, there will not be a new generation either, right?
Yeah,
And that's kind of the catch, right? Our job is to learn and teach, but also, foster those relationships,
yeah,
foster that education to new people. Because if not, the comic industry dies. And we've
yeah.
done been through that almost once already before. You
Really?
know, hmm we had,
When?
we had we had an overinflation in the '90s. There was so much like Valiant, for example, right? When I used to run a comic shop, we had to buy hundreds and thousands of books, right? And it killed a
Ooh,
lot local comic shops end up going under business because of it. This is when it wasn't mainstream, right? This is when comics were a really, really niche community at the time, right? And the only way you knew about new comics was to look in the back of a new comic saying coming next month, or if you found it on the spinner rack, or if you were lucky and you had a local comic shop, right? And we had such an oversaturation that a lot of people weren't buying comics for a while. That's kind of changed, right? And so now that it's mainstream, a lot of people are more accepting of it. So I will say thank you, Big Bang Theory, for making it,
oh
easy
yeah,
for a lot of people, you know. But at the same time, too, it was a dual-edged sword, right? It made it so popular, right, that now that's all you see is the celebrity side of it at a lot of conventions. Whereas it used to be just a comp. You see the guys with the miles of long boxes at the comic convention going through it looking to find out one issue that they were looking for. There's not a lot of that anymore at conventions. You'll find the small ones or the ones you'll find them at, like Dallas Comic Show. Me and Steven were sitting there talking for hours because he comes up there and does it all the time, and that's all it is just
Uh,
comic sales.
have you been to Heroes?
Yep, done the Heroes
Yeah,
Con.
that's. I can still say that's the most legit comic centered comic show. Comic just boxes, boxes. But other shows, I kind of get it. Everything is mainstream now, and they want to tie certain things to another things. Like comic books, they want to tie it to celebrities and
Yep,
signings and ping pong. That's what all the fan expo shows is like too.
yep.
I think this is something that I've been talking with other artists too. There's no 100% comic shows anymore. It's a little bit everything. Sadly, you kind of need some celebrities to draw the ticket sales,
You
but it's
do.
also up to the con how they integrate, comics and Fan Expo does good because they have the exclusives. They tie them the celebrities, but they also shine light on the comic creators and give them a whole wall and a whole alley. It's not just, hey, we call this a comic show. Here are the artists, but we're gonna advertise just the freaking
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the other thing that's great about Repop, New York Comic Con, C2, Emerald. They let you list your exclusives so people can like plan things too, and they have this whole comic tie-in with panels and things like that as well. So it has to work together. So that's usually up to the con people on how they make it right for all parties. So yeah,
I think.
Steve, of course, Brunson.
Yeah.
I remember.
And that's the thing, right? Like we were at Fan Expo this last time, right? And so there's only two celebrities I wanted to see there, right? And that
Hmm.
was Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, Optimus and Megatron, right?
Hmm.
And so we all know the rules. You got to go stand in line forever, right? And so I went there first to stand in line. They were supposed to be there at 9 o'clock, and then they say, "Oh, they're not coming till 2 o'clock today." Okay, that kills it for a lot of fans, right? Like you came there to see a specific person. Now, granted, I came to come see you guys. This was just a kind of cherry on the cake, right? To see these guys get some signs, but it's like if the celebrities are going to be there, they need to be there, right?
Oh, and the con needs to be organized about those celebrities too, because if you don't have line management, time management, all that, your time is spent on that line for hours. That means you don't get to walk the floor to Artist Alley. You don't get to come see us. And
Exactly.
that's the thing with something like Wizard World. Oh my god. The
Oh,
old the new Wizard World that went under. I did Wizard World New Orleans. That was the last show Stanley was at that I got, they had Jason Momoa, they had a lot of the big names, but people were stuck hours on those lines. Hours. They don't get to shop the floor.
they don't get to
They
shop the
they
floor. They
only
don't get to see
they don't
new artists and
yeah, they
writers.
don't get to see. So, hey, my dog.
Hey, puppy.
Peppa. I don't know where Pepper went. So it the show needs to be organized. I've done some small shows where they're great with all of it. Like South Am, like they run Mississippi Anime, they run Louisiana, they're doing Iron City. They're doing 25 shows next year. They used to be one big company that split, but they still do good. They're very organized, very good with time management too. So that gives people the opportunity to do more during the day, whether it's panel, coming to shop, meet us, meet the artists, mingle, chat, be with their friends. Hi, Sarah. Be with their friends. So they get to do more for that single day they're there, and I feel like that's very important. And, especially for us artists, like we pay money to be there. We're there to benefit off the other things too. We're there to make money. Just because you have the attendance doesn't mean you're a good con. I mean, it might be good for you that you get to say that, oh, 50,000 people, ticket sales and all that. But what about us, the artists and vendors who have to pay money for the booth already, where, that's how you kind of break even for the con to break even too. Like, what about us?
And
Shine
that's
some light on us too. Advertise us too. So,
and that was
yeah.
my thing, right? Like on like Fan Expo's page, right? They'll put all the artists that are there about the week prior, right?
Yeah.
And then there'll be all the cancellations that'll happen too, right?
Yeah.
And it's like there should needs to be a little bit of that stuff kind of wrote back in, right? Because like when you're playing, like especially for people that are driving, flying, and stuff, right? Like for example, Art Germ was there, right? Lucio Perea was there, Lyrics was there, all of the big people that we don't get to see hardly ever, right? Because they're over the seas, right? And so when we get to see all of them come over, what happens when everybody would have said, "Oh, it's the last second, they can't come"?
Yeah.
They've done spent all their money and their time to come out and see these people. So that coordination has to be done. Because I was in the line at 2 o'clock again to get signed. That line was doing this number, like, and even the people, it was just a big crowd. There was no line. It was just a big crowd together.
Yeah.
Nobody knew where to go. And then when you asked the people that worked there, oh, I was hired yesterday to come help. I have
Yeah.
no idea. Like, you don't need to hire
See,
people that actually know what they're doing.
there's some, like, no offense to Fan Expos, part of that show, there needs to be some organization, especially with the volunteers and the staff. Um, the line system. I don't know why they don't do, like, times, and all the big shows, they do like time slots,
Yep.
tickets, and all of that. Like, even for artist signatures, like time slots, give them tickets. It makes There are different ways to manage certain things instead of locking people in. I think a lot of people would be much happier instead of standing in line for hours, and they could
Yep.
just come at a specific time. Now, celebrities, are guests that they have to cancel because of unfortunate, either they got
Yeah.
COVID or they got booking. Like Lenore, she had to cancel New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
It happens.
It
But,
does.
for cons, the announcing guests and things the week before is also not good. That's the thing that I really, really hate. Um, what I'm used to at other cons is we get accepted and we get listed like months in advance. New York
Yeah.
Comic Con, we got our notifications like in July
Yeah.
of if we got accepted or not. And then it's up to the artist if they want to, announce themselves. That's on them. But as far as like big guests, I think MegaCon just started announcing the big guests last this past week. Okay, but artists, we probably won't. It's for MegaCon. For
Yeah.
artists, you probably don't know who's coming until like 2 weeks before. Actually, maybe early the at least the pro creator wall. We just For us, we don't know our placements until the week before. That's
Yeah.
what frustrates us on our side is we don't know our
Who
table
you're sitting next
information,
to.
who you're sitting next to, how you're because we have to plan our setup. If we're gonna be if we're flying, we have to book our flight. We have to book. For me, I have to book my pet. Um, it's just little factors. Did you do the panel? No, I actually did not do the panel because no one was there. The panel thing was a last minute addition that I didn't even
Uh,
know about. They said it's a Q&A, but unorganized. But that's that's just I think they just need to fill, and that's fine. Me and the con person and my friend, my number one fan Trey, I was like, if no one's there, you better come. He did. He did. He did. We were just chatting, but if it were a few people, I would tell people to come to my table and chat instead. And we had a good time. I like the personal interaction. Sarah, but she did. I didn't go to it, but she talked about it on her Facebook. Oh no, I was there, but the panel didn't really happen because no one was there. Like the room was empty, kind of thing. And I was just waiting. I was like, oh, if there's one person, I'll just tell them to come to my table. No offense we're taking, no hard feelings or anything. Like I didn't expect anyone to go anyway. No one. Plus, it's a local con. There's some local con drama too.
yeah. With the
It
whole Pensacon and
no,
everything.
no. It's MobiCon.
Uh,
It was supposed to happen the same weekend across the street.
hmm,
It's a whole yeah. Hopefully next year all cons can happen in our city. It's we I live in the Bible Belt.
hmm,
None of these things are acceptable or whatever years ago. Even in a post I did, like my mother-in-law at the time wanted me to showcase my work in a gallery because we're a big art city, but more fine arts. I'm like, no, I'm gonna get not accepted by the art community here or whatever. But now it seems okay. Did the con and a lot of people came out that was their first con. They're like, whoa, this is so cool. So I think we don't talk about that con. Oh, Pensacon.
yeah.
Pensacon is a good con for attendees.
For attendees, but when you know the background of what's going on, that's kind
Oh,
of
a lot of people. No, DerbyCon is not a con that I would go to. I don't have the merch for that, and I would probably yeah, I'm more comic based. So I try to go to cons that are more relevant to what I do. So it's like me trying to go to BlizzCon. Oh, there's fireworks and my dog spooked. I
No,
live
poor
right by
puppy.
a baseball stadium, and they had a league, and every Friday night they would have fireworks too. So yeah, when that hurricane passed by, I didn't get hit, but my neighbors Tallahassee and stuff did. We got a lot of wind, and it was very cool outside.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot in Texas either. I mean, it
Yeah,
was because by the time it was over on this side, it was already like not even a
yeah,
tropical storm.
yeah. Uh, it's funny because it's like if Waffle House shut down, it's serious.
Oh yes, IHOP goes down. Everybody knows.
Yeah, everybody knows it's pretty serious. It was pretty sure scary because it was a Cat 4 and it had a chance to get even bigger, which is Katrina level.
Yep,
So a lot of people have like, PTSD too and yeah.
I still do because I was there for Katrina in Mississippi when it hit us. So I was in Biloxi doing training because I was still in the military at the time, and literally saw the casinos just go away from the side of the beach out into the ocean, and then
Yeah,
seeing
that
everything
is
destroyed.
scary.
And it's like you just don't know like what's going on. Everybody's houses got destroyed, and we were cleaning up for months. Well, because
I I lived here for about 13 years, I think. Maybe almost 14, and I've been through some hurricanes, but I don't live like near the coast, like the water. I live in the bay, but like I think the scariest part is the tornadoes, the wind and the tornadoes.
mhm,
That's also scary. Um and when the hurricane sits, I think we had one that sit and stalled for a day. And that was damaging. So imagine if this one just sat, like the possibilities were there. And that's why, people need to evacuate, right?
yeah,
The possibilities were there and
definitely don't want to be stuck there.
yeah. Oh yeah, Hurricane Sandy. That one stalled. I was scared. I'm not scared, but I was freaking scared of freaking tornadoes. Luckily, back then, the house I lived in, it's like back then old houses are sturdy because they use
Yep.
real nice wood, and they've like been there. Now I live in an apartment complex, and the perks of apartment complexes we have backup power. So and it's sturdy, but other than that, man, freaking scary. I think I still just prefer blizzards over anything. I prefer blizzards over earthquakes, tornadoes, and hurricanes.
Well, like for here, we get tornadoes a lot in Texas
Mm,
because we're in Tornado
a
Alley
heat
where
wave
we're at.
too.
Well, we always live in a heat wave here. It starts in May and gets done in October.
Heat wave destroying the power?
Oh yeah, the brownout, that's a favorite part of the year. You
No.
know. Well, we had talked, earlier this year when my air conditioning went out for a week in
Yeah.
July,
Oh
and
no.
it was just
Did,
miserable
did
here.
you did you buy a portable AC or anything
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. I bought a
You just
portable,
have
put it
to.
in just because you have to. It's just too. I mean, it was still 100 degrees outside.
See over here. So it's hot, but it's humid. It's not dry heat.
Yep.
Um, but I had my AC go out a day and a half. I tried. I tried to leave the windows open and stuff. I was just so cooked. I had to pack, take my dog, my cat, and went to my friend's place because back in New York we didn't turn on the AC until it was like 90 degrees, but it
Yep.
was no humidity. It was still okay with the fan, but man, you can't. There was the memes where we don't worry about anything, but we worry when the AC goes out.
Absolutely right. It goes out the hottest week of the year.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and
Oh,
for us, we were at about 100% humidity at the same
oh,
time. So it's
thank
like
you.
you're just sitting there sticky. And I hate that
Thought
sticky. You
about
just,
moving to Dallas because it's the center of everything, and there's a lot of anime cons around there too.
hmm yeah,
But like, and Dallas is a great area. Do you hear the fireworks?
I do.
Oh my god, I am sorry.
Oh, you're good.
You're celebrating me.
Exactly. And a day.
Anna Day. But it's Dallas is the center of everything. Two airports, a lot of cons, Funimation Studios there, Comic Con, and I mean, even just outside life. I like Carrollton. I like Plano. A lot of good food. There's Koreatown. There's
Oh yes.
Chinatown. Yeah. So thought about it. Then I thought about the heat wave, and I'm like, maybe I'll just go a bit more north.
Yeah, because I mean that's kind of the bad part. If you get inside of the DFW area, right? If you're not in like the western or the eastern side, where it's kind of outside of the city side, there's not a lot of air, right? There's not a lot of circulation, and so you're going to get stuck there. And our air quality isn't the best either, because we also have
Yeah.
tons and tons of factories here too.
Yeah. I just hate the humidity here.
It ain't
Anyway,
no better here.
we just veered off back to our. Oh, speaking of, yeah, this was the. Should I reduce her breast size
Yes,
a little bit?
just a little bit.
Okay, because I
Just
see I had lines here where I was gonna reduce it and make it
mhm.
smaller because I think it's too big.
I think it's a little bit too big, especially for the frame.
Yeah, it's all you see. And this is the other one I need to finish coloring. This is for someone. It's gonna have
Ooh, that's
fire coming.
pretty.
Yeah, so I added paint here to cover the text and color over, but it's gonna be fire. It's someone's commission. Now this one is gonna be for Nerd Crawl because I have to finish the Sirens set because I did a
Okay.
Harley. Those came out good. And then what else? Oh yeah, and I have the art book coming out. And there's something that I've been contemplating. I talked to Zerdy about it. All these people have these comic-sized art books
Yep.
with variants. Zerdy girls.
Yep. I've got
People have
those.
been asking me about this. Zerdy suggested to me. Some other retailers suggested me. So I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on that. Maybe after New York Comic Con. But it's. I've always wanted to do a magazine style.
Oh yeah. I love magazines because I'm a huge Vampirella collector. So I eat
Um,
all the old Warren magazines, right? And then we had some come out with Harris. And so I love a magazine because it's bigger, right? And it's
oh
actually
no,
you can see
it's
it.
gonna be a comic sized, but
Ah,
the front cover would be like a magazine designed.
okay.
Is what I meant. I mean, I thought about the actual magazine size, like 8.5 by 11,
Hmm.
but it'll be something like this, maybe on the other screen. That'll be the trade dress.
I like it.
Yeah. I was ping ponging some ideas with Zerdy and how he does his things. Of course, I'm going to do my own thing in a way, but I like the magazine trade mock up. Um, and it'll just be off the new art book. The interior will be like the new art book. And this also gives me a way to make new product. See, that's the thing. When it comes to shows, I don't have enough books. I do a lot of Kickstarters, and I don't really get comps. And even if I do get comps, I sell out of them. So I
Sorry,
need
I buy a lot.
thanks. But I mean like other even like for ethereal, like I don't get many comps. I sell them. And I can't keep hoarding little by little. I just have to have enough products. Even with retailers like comic traders, they like to showcase me, but they've been showing the same book for the past few months because they don't have stock.
And I
So
think
it's
that's
like
the catch 22, right? Is like you get your APs in, and
and
whatnot, but then
coffin.
like coffin, like yeah, like so
I
I
only
just
did
got
like three of them.
so like I got this one right, from
Yeah.
Anna not too long ago, um, and I'm actually looking for the book to go with this one, right? And you're sold out of your APs, so which means I'm trying to find that.
That book, actually, they did not put that in mystery. They had their own tier. I think it was limited to 100 or
It was.
99.
It's a set.
So
It's a set of two.
you can probably find it. but I don't. I think that said, I actually received 5 copies of each because they did that. Usually mystery ones, I only get like 3 copies, but sometimes I hoard one for myself because
You should. It's
they're
yours.
rare. They're rare. I like it. Um, so I don't have problem. People come like, hey, do you have any Lady Death stuff? No, I only got the poster. Even posters, I got like maybe 5 copies of each. I don't have any more.
Hmm.
I can't, and I can't make prints or anything because I need to have official products for Coffin. So I like Kickstarters. I like doing Coffin, but like I want higher print runs. I
Yeah.
want more products at my table. I don't want to keep doing commissions. So this, that's why Zerdy and them push things like this. It gives them a way to create more products. What art they do, like this one. I was thinking after New York, and maybe I'll do themed ones. Like I was gonna pitch something to comic traders, maybe another Maple Cookie Girl for Christmas, a Valentine's Day one, a spring one, a winter one. I don't know. I mean, for me, it's products. Some people just buy the cover. I mean, it's an art book. It's an art book. People might like the cover. Maybe they want to buy that instead. This is still something I'm playing on, but I really do like the magazine style.
I do too. Merck did this for their Kickstarters, right? For their
Ooh.
trade dresses. Merck magazine did.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I loved it for that reason, right? It was
Oh, a
like a
Sailor Moon.
um, and for me, what I use a lot of these sketchbooks for, right, and these cover things is a catalog. I use it as a catalog because there's a lot of times you guys put your art into it, like your
Yeah,
covers.
yeah.
Like, which one am I missing? Like, do I have the first one they did? Like, I've got your first book that you did, right?
Hmm.
That's because I asked you what it was, and we luckily found somebody that had a copy of it, right?
Hmm.
But I use these as catalogs, right? Because we don't have that in Coffin, right? Because there's just too many covers, and
Hmm.
there's no way we could do it. But by artists, at least I can see that, and I get to see other art that's not on the cover too, as well.
See, that's
And
what these little the art books are for. Is just other things that I don't, is not mass produced or anything. And this, I so this first one is the only one I'll use, and I because poison ivy obviously it's poison ivy, right?
yeah,
I mean, poison ivy. The term is universal. It's the freaking leaf, the ivy
yeah,
leaves. This is the only one where I'll use in someone else's IP.
yeah,
The other ones, it'll be my own original designs, and that adds a whole different essence to it. It's just like Zerdy Girls.
yep.
Um,
And Jamie Tyndall did it with his, right? With his,
Jamie Tyndall does it.
and
It's like a trend, and and this is also my way of working with retailers. I might do a small program where I sell it, of course, and then maybe 3 retailers who would have like small copies to sell to their people that they
mm-hmm,
already have that don't know me, and that's all networking too.
yep,
It's my way of bringing in new collectors, people to see my work that I wouldn't have connected with. It's the same with websites, social media. Let's take Nerdcrawler.
yeah.
A lot of people have question marks about Nerdcrawler. It's legit.
It is
On
good.
fire is legit. The high price is legit. Um, I actually am going to meet Chris at New York, and we're going to do a little video too. The great thing about Nerdcrawl is if people like Archer and Frank Cho's on there, right? I'm also getting their collectors to see my work. That's how I got some of those sold. They're new collectors that have never seen my work before. And that's the beauty of it all. So I always recommend for artists, try every place, try every new thing, whether it works out or not, whatever, but at least you tried it. You never know who you connect. Even Lauren, my friend
Yeah.
Lauren, she got a few pieces sold for very high. New collectors. And now I think one of them is wanting to collab and do other things. Never know. As artists, we just have to. But
And
yeah,
what's not
this. Hmm.
what's nice about Nerdcrawler is not limited to just artists, right? Even I have an account where I can sell on there
Yeah.
of art. You just have to get
Yeah.
cleared
Look,
for it.
it's what's the big art place? Heritage?
Heritage auctions, they're
They're premium. Oh
overpriced.
my god, they're premium prices. Oh my god. But on the artist side for me, I don't even notice the fees. Actually, it's like I think for me it's like 6% or less. I don't even notice it. I like the escrow. They use it for retail realtors, real estate.
Hmm.
And I trust Chris, and the fact that it's paid
Yeah.
before I send it. I can go on eBay and do the same thing. The percent's higher, but eBay is always a big question mark, and it's not catered to art.
Not at all.
No, this is catered to art, and I'm also utilizing, other bigger names collector base to look at my art. So, we help each other in some way.
And the other good thing about it too is right. They can do buy it now pricing too
Yes,
for things, right? And we're
offer.
making offer ones.
Yeah, yeah.
They've really grown within, I'd say, really the last 6 months. Because when I first started using them, right, Sabine was on there, right?
Yeah,
Sabine was on there, and then
that's how I knew
Monty.
about it.
Yeah, and I saw Frank's was on there. I saw Sabine's, then Monty John, Mike Crone got on, you got on, and it's like I'm seeing all the same people I already buy art from, but then you guys are making a good dividend and a good result from it, and I'm like, I see some of the problem, like, well, that's out of my price range, but you know what? That means that it's selling and it's selling effectively for you
Yeah.
guys, and that's the most important part.
There are some people who are kind of not happy about the prices being so. Here's the thing, and I tell them, look, these are real buyers. They can't go to cons. I've talked to some. They can't go to cons. They're from the other side of the world. And if you think about it, you guys come to cons, but how much are you spending to come to con?
Shoot, I spent at least $70 to go to Fan Expo now.
Yeah, but that's local to you, right? But what if you have to fly if you go to New York
Oh
and same
yeah,
thing?
yeah. You're gonna
Like
spend $1,000
people were talking
minimum.
about Art Jones' price, like his commission is a color one is 1,800, right? But you have to win the lottery every day for the raffle lottery. You have to go to SDCC. That's already a $3,000 investment.
Yep.
Like, well, you have to get in first, get the hotel, go there, and all these people. You're buying the art directly from the artist. There's no rep in between, whatever. You're paying them, right? And you're also getting the art. So it's like some people justify that and are willing to pay the price. Now, does that mean that some of us will increase our prices? Probably not. Like look at Arthur Adams.
Yep.
People were not happy about some of the pieces that went for really high on there, but he's never increased his con prices. Like even for me, Matt Harley went for 1,300, right? I mean, that's a full illustration. I don't usually sell that. Those pieces is because I like doing them and I want to do the full for Nerd Call because but I haven't increased my con prices.
No.
Though the quality is different though.
It,
So
and it's different, right? And you said
yeah,
a key thing right there, right? Having the time to do it at a convention versus
uh,
having the time to do it at home, say over 30 or 40 days, and you can actually make it exactly the way you want, right? Versus
yeah.
let me get this done before somebody, they have to come back today or tomorrow to pick it up.
And
It's
we can sell it. Another thing people didn't like is it runs like a real auction house. So when
yep,
you do the last bid, it gives a few. Whatnot does the same thing. So I don't know
yep,
why people are complaining. But on Facebook, sometimes people are used to there's a cutoff time. I get it. But Facebook can only reach so far. Not everybody wants to use Facebook too, and it's not everybody's a collector base or whatever. Nerdcrawl, it's all art collectors, so there's a benefit there. So I like it. Um, but yeah, all of these do a little bit of everything. Try it out and see. My friend Steph Wilson is on there too,
yep.
and he does colored pieces on it.
Steph, Steph is a
I like
madman.
Steph. I
I
like
mean
Steph.
that. I mean, like I already yelled at him the other day because it seemed like as soon as he puts a picture up, right, it's sold. And it's like
Oh
I
yeah,
tell
he
him
has a collector base.
he does, and it's like Sarah and I are always looking at it. We're like, crap. Did you get that one? No. Did you get it? No, not me. And then usually when he puts them on sale, they're like at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, right? And I'm at work, so I don't get to see it. And so it's like crap. So I told Steph, I said, you're my next sketchbook guy in my book. They said like, and get ready to do a lady death because he's not done a lady death. I'm like, you're gonna have fun. He's like, okay. I'm like, because I got to get something from Steph that's original.
Yeah. So I liked his calendar.
Hmm.
Calendar Girls. There's one that I really wanted, but of course it was sold. I really want something big in particular. I mean, sure, he has art books and stuff. I can buy those, but it's not an original. I started collecting
Yeah.
originals too. Um, oh, Steve Butler undercharges,
He
and now
way
he's better now. But he can crank it out if he's happy with that price. He's happy with that price.
Steve doesn't care. That's the thing with Steve. Like I saw him in Dallas Fan X or not a Dallas Comic Show,
Hmm.
and I had him. I said, "Hey, I want to get a remark from you." And he said, "How
Hmm.
much does that cost?" $5. I'm like, "Are you seriously $5 for a remark?" And he's like, "I don't care." And I'm like, "Dude, I get it. I've known you for a long time, but I'm like, you should at least charge 25 or something, right?"
Yeah,
Because
he's
he's sitting right next door to Ariel Diaz, right? You
yeah.
got Ariel, you got him, you got Lauren Wright. They're all together. I'm like, you need to increase your price. He said, but I don't care. It's not about the money for me. I'm just having fun. I'm like,
He
okay,
he is better about it because his daughter's been helping him,
Lily
and
is,
my
yeah.
my LCS has been helping him too with selling his. Oh, yeah, if you're ever looking for Lady Death artist proofs from him and originals, you can tell me too because I know where to find them. Because Steve helps Steve sell. They're both
Yeah,
named Steve.
yeah.
Steve Hyatt, the one that sold the zombie charm, he has Steve Butler APs, by the way. He's
I
the one.
off to hit up Steve then.
Yeah, he's the one that helps him sell it and grades them too. So you're gonna have to like find him and things like that.
Mm.
Same for some originals, but yes, it's yeah. Some people just don't mind, and I get it. Except like if I can churn out that quick too, I would too. But man, I'm too particular about some things. I'm way too particular. Yeah, Port City Comics. They got a big new store, room to grow. I was supposed to go drop off something because there was a piece that I did recently that I really liked. What was it? Are we
And
over
he's
time?
no, we don't have any time on it. Oh yeah, the Batgirl.
The Batgirl. It's an art germ homage thingy. Let's see. Let me close this. Stop screen. Yeah, it's for a local guy. But these things, I don't take private commissions. This was at it was the grand opening, and it was a guy I've known for a long time. I used to run a not a comic shop, a TCG shop with a friend, and I've met him there, and then we were just, I didn't really have anything work going on really, so I'm like, what do you want? He wants a big piece. He wants a piece next to Adam Hughes. Because he collects too. I'm
Mm.
like, I don't like doing 11 by 17s, but maybe. And then we were talking about Art Germ because that's my favorite artist, and that he really liked that Art Germ, the Batgirl one. Okay, we can do that. That means I can share it to Art Germ too. But maybe I should add some purple. In person, it looks more purple, but her
From
outfit for
from you, it
outfit.
looks blue.
Yeah, this over here looks blue, but I added some purples. But maybe I should. No, I'm not gonna touch it. It was a conversation we had. Like, is it purple? Is it
Mm.
blue? It's more purple. It's blurple. We call it blurple.
Blurple. I like it.
Yeah, blurple. And then oh, and no, Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, that is cute.
Yeah, that's cute. I got to do that. Coffin. There's still a cover Coffin haven't used yet.
Oh, I want to see. I
It's the
claim it.
Halloween one. It's the Halloween one.
Ah,
They haven't used it yet.
ah,
Hedwin's supposed to color it. There's a nude version too, but I patch nude versions.
yeah.
So always they're not nude.
Mm.
So of course I still have. I don't really advertise my OAs. Oh, and I'm keeping these because it's Lilo.
It's you gotta keep that. That's
Yeah,
freaking
Darren wanted to
awesome.
buy it. I'm like, I'm keeping it, and then all of a sudden you have an old watercolor piece.
Oh yeah, the old. I remember that one.
Yeah,
How much
yeah.
is that Lady Death one?
I don't know how. You're not supposed to see it.
I know I'm not supposed to see it.
I
That's
think
how
I have
commissions
it.
work.
We can talk about it,
Okay,
but I don't know if it's gonna get published or not. But
that's okay.
that's the thing with Coffin, right? And that's another thing that I have to remind artists. You might get hired for a cover. They may or may not use it for whatever they said they were. It happens. It happens with the big two. A lot of my friends' covers they don't end up being published, but they still got paid their cover rate. If you have books in your cover rate, I mean that's on you, but they still got paid for not having it published or whatever. I mean that means your piece might your original might not sell for much higher because it's not published, but it is what it is. It happens. Things happen. Some of my like this one is not even published. I can't even really show it off. But in other industries, it happens. We sign NDAs.
Yeah,
We can't show anything till like 5 or 10 years later. It's pretty normal. And by that time, it's like the hype's kind of over for us. But
and
but
and
that's
it's a,
just how it is.
and for us collectors, right? We all know the rules, right? They're like, if it is a potential cover, right, you can't show it off. You can have it in your collection forever,
Yeah,
right? And if it becomes a cover, then you can show it,
yeah.
But unless it goes into the premise of this is a commission, right,
Yeah.
beforehand, little different waters, like what
That's different.
But if it's a cover for like Coffin, right? Like if I would have bought this one from you before it was the actual mystery
Mhm.
envelope or the two piece, right? I couldn't show that because there's rules
Right,
for that. You
right.
you have an NDA with Brian saying
Yeah.
no, it's his, right? It can't be
So,
shown until he decides to do it,
yeah.
and I
So
get that.
so that's the thing like with Brian. Brian tends to do like trials with artists before he actually officially signs them. I had the fortunate I signed an official contract with him, I think. I guess it was official contract. And it states the rules of what you can and cannot do. And they reserve the right to advertise it first,
Yep.
and show it first. Um, but he knows. I mean, we all know that, if it's in our portfolio, it just happens to be there, because it's in our portfolio. So we're not supposed to show, we're not supposed to talk about it. But that's a common thing, even with um other publishers. It's a respectful thing. Like you don't. What was it when I first started? You don't get the store doesn't get to sell or show it off until the publisher say it's okay to
Yep.
pre-sell. You don't even show it off or whatever. We always have to get permission to do it. So, and then I see some of these artists, talking about. I'm like, look, this is pretty normal. Like, if you can't accept the fact that not all your pieces are gonna get published. Like it's I don't know. You just have to learn about that, about publishers, about Kickstarters and things like that. I mean, there's still one cover that I've done years ago that never got published, but they paid me. And I felt bad that they paid me. But that one I didn't have an OA. There's some covers I will not do OAs for. Like I don't do the inking first because I just know the OA probably won't sell. And
Mm.
that's more time for me too. So like these days I do more digital first, but that's just me. Um I think there was yeah, there's some covers like that too. So you adapt, we just learn. Um Not all your covers going to get published, and that's just how it is. As long as you got paid up front too.
And it's a company that pays you up front, right?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the hard piece I've seen for a lot of artists lately, right? They're trying to help their friends, right? And so they'll do this piece for say a Kickstarter or whatnot, right? And then they never get paid, right? They never get paid and they never get the comps or get and that needs to be actually highlighted, I think, more, right? It's like if you're being paid to do it, you should get paid for to do it, period dot.
So for me, I think even back then when I did commissions, right? Even for commercial, okay, whether it's comic book or some cover or interior, we did a sketch first. We get approved. Once approved, we move on. They have to pay a deposit. half deposit. Um, at least at least it's safe. You know that you're gonna get paid. At least some. When you finish, you don't show them the full piece. You don't send them the main file until you get fully paid.
Correct.
However, I know some people abuse it. I have the fortunate. I'm very fortunate that everybody else trusts me and I trust them. A lot, even for commissions, I don't require people to pay me up front. It's okay. I know you'll pay. It's fine. I haven't come across anyone that hasn't paid. Um, Even for commissions, if they change their mind later on, I'm like, I am confident enough to sell it later on,
Mm,
actually. Um, and I get friends, but it's a business.
correct.
It's a business. You can give them a little discount, but it's a business. And if you're doing a business thing where they're profiting, they have to treat you the same too and pay you. Now, if you're asking for, like these days, sometimes I ask for books with a money payment. To me, that's part of payment. Comps, I think, to me, like what Brian does, are gifts that the
Hmm.
publisher are okay to give. I don't expect them. But because that one's part of contract, I expect them. But other people, I don't expect them. You already paid me. Um, if the book doesn't get published, of course there's no books, right? But that's what
Exactly.
the other part of the payment's for. It's fine. For me, it's fine. Um, it's sad that I won't get books, but since you're not making money off it, you still paid me. I feel bad. uh, Otherwise, don't give the full file until you get paid. Always ask if you don't know the people. Ask for deposit. Don't ever do royalty
Mm,
unless it's a big company that tracks everything. Because no company, no, like these Kickstarter, like all these guys, they don't track it.
mm.
How would you know? How would they know? They probably don't even know. Don't ever do royalty. There's only one person I would trust with that, and that's Zerdy, because he's big on it. Otherwise, just get paid up front. And when you get paid, don't worry about what these guys do with your product. It's a commercial product. They reserve the right to do whatever they want with it. They paid you. If they make a statue out of it, if they make a poster print out of it, I mean, it'd be nice for them to give you a comp or two, but they don't have to. And you can use that to determine if you want to work with them again or not.
I mean,
Coffee.
yeah, you got to definitely be cautious because, like, for example, right? It's like I just bought this OA from you, right?
Hmm.
Essentially, now it's mine, right?
Huh?
But there's a caveat to that too, right? Brian could always ask me, "Hey, can I buy that from you?"
Yeah.
Because that's still a trade to trade. You know, it's a business thing, right? He says,
Hmm.
"I want to produce." If he wants to produce more of it, right, and he
Yeah.
can do that. Um,
Look at
Same
his
way,
what was it? He's doing it with Todd McFarlane.
yeah, exactly right. He's taking the old image that they had before. They're repurposing it, but he had to go back to Todd and ask him, "Can we do this again?"
And
This,
that's the great thing about what Brian does in Coffin. He actually does he like they're all the entire green flag of a publisher. But he's also running a business and he knows what's up. So, NDA, he will give you comps. And any book, like the recent art book, I'm in it. He will give me a comp. They're great like that.
yeah,
They will figure out what they owe each artist or whatever because they want to set an example. They're big on that. That's why we don't cross them ever.
mm-mm,
They are good to their artists. They're good to their people. They're good to his worker. Yeah, yeah. Um, they respect our craft. They are really the publisher we wish every publisher would be. Like, I mean, look at Dynamite. Obviously, that Vampirilla is off of Mike Crone's cover. He
correct.
should, or was it Dynamite?
Dynamite,
The statue was
Dynamite,
Dynamite, or was it a separate?
Dynamite owns Vampirella. Yeah,
Dynamite owns Vampirella, but that statue of the three girls, I don't know if that was 3D printed by an off company, but if it were Dynamite, I would at least give Microme like two of those or three of those.
because it's
Or
his design.
what was it when Archerm did the Vampirella cover? They made a coin out of it. They made a figure out of it. I don't think Archerm got any of those.
See, that's kind of sad to me. I mean, it's like, especially from this perspective, right? You've done all this work to create this image, right? They've already paid you for the image. So yes, I get it. They can make whatever they want.
Right.
But it's one of those things, right? There's a kickback to that too, right? It's like, hey, by the way, we're going to make an image out of this into a print or into a coin or into a figure or something like that, right? There's a kickback to the people that actually made it. Like when Claiborne Moore used to do that, right? So Claiborne Moore, when they built the Harris Vampirella, the Chaos stuff, right? You would see their stuff all over, but then you would see artist proof editions as
Mm-hmm.
well. And I have one,
Mm-hmm.
and the last one I have is like, I'm never going to get rid of it because it's of Lady Demon, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the very few that he did for
It's
Lady
rare.
Demon. Yeah. And it means a lot to me because it's from that era. But that's the last time I really see a lot of people do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if Brian does that either for some of his stuff, right? That
Statues.
yeah, like his statues. Like if he gives out to like Richard Ortiz for the Majestic, right, or to Mike for the Hell Witch from
Honestly, I, you know, I feel like he
um,
does
I would
at
think
least
he
one,
would.
because if you think about it, the cost to make those is probably the profit that he makes off one statue
Hmm.
or two statues. I would want to think that Coffin would give them at least one.
That's what I
That's
would
that's
think
what I would
too.
expect. Um, and then the was it the one that did the 3D print of it or the design of it, they get one too, because back then the books, the publisher gets a proof, the printer gets a proof too. And when we say proof, honestly, real artist proofs are ones they print out first to actually prove. Like you've seen Brian
Yep.
post those are the proofs, and then he has the mock-up copies. Those are proofs. I mean, we call our artist copy proofs, but technically they're artist copies and it has our initials on it, but we like to use the term proof. Um, so like I think the Ivy one, I'm gonna print it through Anthony Artist Express, who prints for
Mm,
Coffin. I'm gonna ask for a
yeah.
proof. I want to see what it looks like because I'm thinking like spot foil too, and metal.
I
The
want a medal.
so see that's the thing, metals, because they use a silver aluminum. I want to make sure the colors are correct because I've done a red on it before, on some other metal, and came out very bright red and it was great, but it's a hit miss. You have to find the right tone to
Mm,
mix with the gray. So and the foil, it's either a hollow foil or a spot foil, and that's this is where designers have to figure out what looks good for print, and that takes a while. So I've been picking Zerdy's brain, but I would think for the statue, for artist proofs, and just copies to the artist works good. Like I think it was a Hellwitch Kickstarter, and my art was in one of the art books, and they gave me two copies or a copy, something like that, just for me to have, and it was a very nice gesture. And they give copies as stated, but it's not something I expect. But all the other Kickstarters I've had were pretty good, and they give me good copies, like the Powerpuff Girls. Um, Mike, he gave me it all bag and boarded. It was good copies. I've had some Kickstarters, they send me copies and they're kind of like very dinged up. Like, but sometimes I just don't even argue. I don't even say anything. I just deal with it, and because it also took them forever to get me them, kind of thing. So it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna let this go. I just won't do covers for them again, kind of thing.
oh,
Because
I
the
know who you're
interaction.
talking about. I got some of the same things from him.
Really? Oh, we're gonna talk after this show.
Yes.
We're gonna talk. I wonder if it's the same person. I don't think it's the same person, but it's one of those where you should know better. I don't expect perfect copies, but I don't expect. These were literally like borderline damaged. I can't even remark them to salvage them, kind of thing.
Ah,
But I don't want to like deal with it, so I move on. I already got paid part of it, so I'm gonna move on. Um, but other than that, I've had very good interactions. Ethereal's good too. They're very professional.
yeah.
I was gonna do something for Bad Bug Media, but I think it was my fault that it fell out because it was around when I was in New York and my grandma passed away, and I kind of let
Ah,
a lot of things go. But maybe we'll reconnect because it was a cover that they wanted me to do watercolor, and I was excited for it.
ah.
So, yeah. Other than that, what do what do I have coming up? Muffy the Pin Slayer.
Yay!
I'm apparently in the book again. I don't know what they're doing with my character,
Oh Lord,
but it's a fun book. I have
yes.
two covers. They want me to do chibis. It's funny because chibi is a thing that chibi like the
Hmm.
chibis is
Yeah,
something I did long ago. I did keychains and all that, and now it's like going back to it. A lot of people like my chibi stuff. And look at the Powerpuff Girls and Stitch.
exactly.
And something I'm currently working on too is because Darren and them is working with the X-Men's, right? I'm doing
Hmm.
chibis of each character. Potentially they'll sell at their table.
Ah,
So
can
that'd
you,
be cool. And
anything you can show?
yeah, because they let me make prints of it too, but I'm not sure if they'll have it, but it's something we're working on. Uh, let's see if I can. That's something that I would like to do in the future as well as David Nakayama, the official pins. I
Hmm.
want to do something like that. See, new goal. Never know. It's cool.
See
Uh,
it. And I felt bad for David at Fan Expo. It was so bad. Like I couldn't even get into the line to get anything from him because it was way down the edge. I mean, people kept coming and coming and
oh
coming.
yeah, he has outgrown
He
the
needed
artist
he
alley.
needed yeah, he needed something different. And that was the catch too. Everybody that was trying to get to Sabine, they thought they were in the actual
Yeah,
line.
so that's Storm. She likes the old outfit. So that's gonna
Mm,
be Storm. So maybe a print, and with the chibis, you can make charms, make lanyards, you can make stickers. It's also merch for them because they want more merch. So maybe, hopefully, I have a whole list that I was supposed to do, but unfortunately, I won't get to do all of them for New York. I think I'm gonna work on Jubilee and Jean next. Of course, Rogue Gambit,
mm,
but it'd be cool to do something official like that too. Of course, these are all fan art.
yeah.
But Chibi, revisiting it's so cool. And these I churn out like a lot quicker because it's just less to draw. I don't have to like I can make this more round. I don't have to etch her legs out or things like that. Um and then this, because of how I layered it, I can also put on her a new outfit, her
Mm.
her white outfit. Yeah, so it's just something cool. And the X behind it, and every character would have a different color corresponding. So the Jubilee would be a party, different colors.
And like Wolverine would be yellow. It makes it easy for
Yellow
him
and blue.
on. Yep.
Yeah, that would be cool. Of course, not to take it will have to be like a muted color, but we'll see how this goes. As some things working for 2025. Um, what else am I doing? Another color for Scarlet. It might be Sailor Moon inspired.
Ooh.
Maybe, I don't know. Another cover for David Sweet. Which, speaking of David Sweet and connections, he messaged me out of nowhere, wanted a cover. Cool. I didn't know he worked for Zenoscope.
Ah.
And that's how the connection began. And then I found out he kind of started repping for Keith Garvey.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
how I met Keith Garvey. And I worked on editing his book. I did the layout. Actually, David comes to me to ask for editing and stuff. And because I think it's fun and it's learning for me to put together my own books, I designed his whole put together and formatted all the pictures and things like that. And that's how I got to know him more. I met him in person. I got to know of Keith and his wife and what he does. Um, connections. And David Sweet has been trying to get me in that Zenoscope door since. He talks about me to the other Dave, the guy that owns Zenoscope, about me all the time. So maybe in the future, I would
I,
love to do Zenoscope covers.
I would love to see you do a Robin Hood cover.
Yeah, all of it, all of it. I like those girls. Yeah, Zenoscope is what I picked up early days. It was Michael Turner. Was it Michael Turner? No, that's Fathom.
That's
That's Michael
fine.
Turner, and then what was it? Paulo Pantalena. I love
Yep.
his work. Sabine, Dawn,
Yep.
Mike Home. I've seen all J. Scott Campbell actually his early Wonderland and Archum. Speaking of Archum,
DeBalfo, Di was there. I remember when they
yeah,
all first came out. Then, and Raven was doing Grim Fairy Tales.
yeah, Raven's a hoot.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I want to meet Nei. Is that how we're saying Nei? Yeah,
Di. Yeah,
yeah.
she is, and she is so tiny, but she's one of the like. She's like this little
She's
like
a little
perfect little like
spiritual.
little sprite. You know.
Yeah, I love her colors. And she's one that, I would like her to color my stuff, but she's very particular, like no nude or anything. Ula, Ula Moss, I love her colors. Cece, Sabine. Sabine, I've asked her, but she wants me to learn. So she's been helping me too with coloring and giving me tips and pointer. I love Sabine. She's like my booth partner.
It was so nice to see you two together because
Yeah.
it made so much fun because I've known her for a long time, you know, and it was like, yay, you're finally here because it was funny because she was
She's
at
also my
Cal.
drinking buddy.
You get her, Don, Eric, and JP together. It's a hoot. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
I have not met JP. I've met Ebas. Well, I've seen JP. I've met Ebas once. I love Dawn, and I have her. Oh, this is so nice. It's
oh yeah,
expensive. This
the
is so
temperamentals.
nice. Yeah.
Yep,
Uh, you can buy one at on her website. Temperamentals, luxury
yep.
brand. A lot of pens. Oh my god, it fits so much. I love this.
I think everybody and their brother has got one of those. When she first launched that, we all bought it. Like I bought one for my wife, and it ends up being the what you call it, like
Makeup.
ear jewelry. It's a
Oh,
jewelry.
jewelry,
Yeah.
yeah. I brought it. It was Soldier Con and Miko Swayan was like, Anna, what's that? He wants one. I'm like,
Miko
just buy
wants
it.
one.
Yeah, Miko wants one. He's living in the States now. He's in
Is he?
Texas. Yeah. He's in Fort Worth.
Yeah, because the last I talked to
He
him,
lives with BTC right now.
he was going to move out this way. The last I talked to him, because him being Filipino, my wife Filipino, we were talking one day, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm moving out here." I'm like, "Dude, you get out here, let me know,"
He's here
because
now.
so I'm gonna have
He
to go beat him up now.
he has I think it's a work visa, so it's only him now. So they're working on getting the whole family here, but I think he's with Nelson right now
Okay,
before he gets his own place. So no, he's the in-house artist at BTC store. So yeah, hit him up. I
definitely.
only found out because he was with me at SoldierCon in El Paso. And he wants one of those. Hint, hint.
I
If you have one, is
I'll
uh,
get him one. I'll bring it with me to Cowtown. He's going to be at Cowtown
oh,
here.
okay, okay. Uh, I just love the emblem. It really does not like no stains or anything. It's so sturdy, very sturdy. I love this thing. And yes, go buy one from Dawn. That's a free
Exactly.
advertisement right there.
Free advertise. Everybody knows I'm a huge Don fan,
Yeah,
anyways. So
I have. I first met her at Emerald, and I got some of her art books. I love art. I like following other artists. I collect other artists' work. So I think early on it was her. I liked Mike Chrome, Jesse, Ryan Kincaid. I love Shannon. I love Shannon
boss
Kincaid.
lady.
Yeah, Boss Lady. Um, just a bunch, and of course I have a bunch of art germs. Derek Chews. So yeah, a lot of influences too. I learn a lot from other artists. So there's that. Uh, hmm. I thought I had sketches of it, but it was like maybe a little. Oh, and I'm trying to do Inktober too. Trying.
Ah,
But I did start on Freyren, the first one. Let me close this. Yeah, I started with Freyren. I did this at South Alabama. I at first drew a more semi-realistic face. Then I'm like, maybe I'll start my Inktober, and I did that and put her on there and gave her the Freyren look. I don't know if you've ever watched the anime. It's actually pretty good. It's
I've not seen
wholesome.
that one.
And then the next one's April O'Neil.
Ah,
Haven't I just started, but it's Archer's prompt list. It's he does an anime line, a comic line, and anime comic game.
hmm.
So the first one's anime, then comic, then the game character, and then goes over each every three. So
See,
maybe
I'd love to
maybe
see you do like a Tifa and Aerith.
oh, I've drawn them before.
I
Let's
know, but well, I
yeah.
want to. It's been a
Uh
while.
I Tifa. That's something I have a lot of old doodles that I've never finished. This is maybe we can see Anna's stash of old doodles or something like that.
See, this is why you got to stay to the end, folks. You never know what you're going to see.
It's like never ending. Tell me when to end because I will talk on forever and ever and ever and ever. Tifa. Oh yeah, I did a Tifa long ago. This was I don't even know what year. This was when I used Manga Studio. I need to update it. I have a but my favorite character is always Aerith.
Hmm.
Uh, did I ever have a? I have a lot of different. See, I try to do like more anime, comic-y. Uh, I try to do a
Hmm.
Disney. Yeah, that never happened. What year was this? 2019. Okay. Uh, Old Vampirilla, GNG, Inktober. Oh, this is a gem. This was back when Maple Story existed.
Ah,
This was when I drew with a mouse. I drew with a mouse.
I don't know how you guys could. I can barely sign my name with a
This
mouse.
was 2010. It was, I can't believe I drew with a mouse. Uh, but this was a game I played, Maple Story. Oh my god, I can't believe I drew this with a mouse. See, this is why I like I hold a pencil and pen,
Mm.
but these were cute. Uh, old commissions. Oh, commission folders. Old school stuff. Old school stuff. Old Wonder Woman. My dog. Let's see if I have pictures there I'm not supposed to show. On my own picture, the Pokemon. Oh, I did do this.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that X-23 was the one. That was the first one I saw you do.
X23.
Yeah, it's
This one?
down. Yeah, that was. I saw you do an X-23.
Oh, this was a Fan Expo Dallas, I think.
Yep. I went to come buy it and it was already gone.
Was it one of those? Oh no, I think this was a commission for someone.
You had an X-23.
I know I sold headshots. I did some like small headshots that I would sell at every show. Okay, okay,
It was about 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
okay. Yeah, I every show I went to, I did like little headshots I would pre-sell or like these, like it was like
Hmm.
$60 or something like that. Oh, this was when I had my paper. Oh, this is like the anime hand. The long,
Mm-hmm.
long,
Fingers.
yeah. Oh my god, the sharp chins and long fingers. Um, Sharp chin. Oh, this was a zombie trim I really like doing.
Ooh, I like that
This
one.
was when I first met Jeremy Clark too, because he wanted the blue lines of that. He wanted to ink it. Uh, hey, look, it's a guy, sort of.
With a banana.
uh, this was nice. Came
Oh
out
yeah.
2018.
Labyrinth.
This was cool.
This is when is this when you started doing the glow in the dark
Yeah,
inks?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. These were for it was an unknown comic book. I actually like this one.
Something's killing the children.
Yeah. I was supposed to do a cover for it. Supposed to. Then got kicked off.
Oh.
So it's still on my list. Man, it's just I used to do a lot of Sailor Moon art. Um I used to do like cards, little cards.
Well, and you were showing the chibis, right? Like the chibi X-Men. And
Uh-huh.
that size is perfect for a card.
Yeah. I mean, this is 2.5 by. Yeah, that's why. So those you can make trading cards. You can make prints. I made it to size where it's like 8.5 by 11. It could be small size like this. It could be sticker size like 3 inches. You could do a lot with those. But this is what I used to do for the Sailor Moon or what is it? Deviant Art. I did a lot of like Sailor Moon looking my friends' characters, things like that. There's another side that people have not seen. I just have a lot. Watercolor.
I see that's what I want to see you do more of. I enjoy
Watercolor?
your yeah, I want to see more
Yeah.
watercolor.
Speaking of watercolor, let's see traditional. This was all watercolor. It was 8.5 by 11. I would thought about redoing it on a larger, like a upgrade, because this was 2014, maybe. Yeah, obviously it's a watercolor. It just takes time. I used to do it a lot, but marker, I've learned to use marker, and it's just so much faster. The process. Ink and watercolor. This one was long ago. She was too stiff. I did too heavy of lines. Learning process. Because sometimes when you want something that looks soft, you don't use heavy ink, heavy pen. This was fun. This was detailed. See,
Yeah,
I'm
you
an artist that likes to do little details. So when it comes to like 11 by 17 big, I don't like empty spots. That's why I don't like doing 11 by 17s or even 9
Chris
by 12s.
Enoch does the same thing when he does a big one. He always covers it and everything.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be too much. It's a learning thing. Sometimes simple is better. This was when I did like my own Sailor Moon characters, cards, matching cards before after. See, this is how you can tell if you grew or not.
Mm.
And I have a new one too that I haven't finished. This is back then, work in progress. Back then, photos. It's masking fluid for the transparent water. Oh, look, it's Eris. I tried and I stopped. I'm more about eyes. I had trouble with nose for the longest time. So, but yeah, I think it was this. Yeah, a doodle. Cleaned it up. Cleaned it up more. But this is where I use like a very fine tip, so it's not bold and it doesn't
Mhm.
blend with the watercolor. That's why I'm so used to using the very, very small tip. So you can always line it back over later. And it's the same reason why I use color ink. But this was very small. This was a 6 by 9. So it was like a comic book size. This was probably my favorite. Back then I wanted to write my own manga. And I quickly gave that up because I'm not a good writer. But I still like designing characters. See it like that.
I like the effect with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So this character is on my COA. This is my own original design, and that's what I'm slowly working towards too. Is my own characters. I think every artist should have their own characters, their own IP, their own mascot, and not rely heavily on other people's IP. Like as you're starting out, fan art is a thing. Fan art is what attracts people to your booth. I, you know, People worry about copyright, IP infringement. I get it. Um, Marvel and DC. It's funny because a lot of the Marvel DC artists I know now got seen and got hired because of their fan art.
Yep. You'd
So you
see a
never know.
Wolverine, you'd see a Wonder Woman out in the middle of the convention hall.
Yeah.
Especially like when the metal prints came out, right? Everybody saw those metal prints.
So eventually, still have your own. So you can make whatever merch you want. Um, my mascot, I have not refined it, but I need to make a girl like Steph. Steph has his girl, right? His
Yep.
cutout. I need to make a girl so I can dress her up and make like whatever. Like Archer has Pepper.
Yep.
Her character's named Pepper. It's watercolor base. Yeah. I used to do live videos. Now I don't do so much. I don't have the setup is not the same. I don't have my other cameras too. Eventually, maybe. I keep saying that for years, but it never happens. Um, do anime. But yeah, I've been drawn. I've drawn so much. Oh, Chibi.
Aw.
Yeah, Nezuko. I love chibis. It's redstone. Oh, something's killing the children. Yeah. And then yeah, this is
Big hair.
yeah, big hair, anime hair. The great thing about watercolor is it's easy to do backgrounds like this. You can't do this with marker. It would take forever and a lot of ink. So a lot of people do washes in the back. But this is my friend's character. Um yeah.
See, I'd love for you to have your own book, like your own book, right?
I
With
thought
your
about it, but I'm more into the whole romance, drama centered like K drama, J drama kind of
mm,
thing, like those kind of books. I'm not into the action. I don't know. I might do a short just to have a book. I don't know. I just like to draw. I don't like to write. Yeah, mouse pads.
yeah.
See, mouse pads. I used to want to do those. I had an idea of doing waifu girls. Yeah, and some of them can turn into nice pads.
Yes, they can, right in the middle.
Yeah. You never know. Oh, this was the. You never know.
You could always do it as part of your sketchbook too, right? You could
You
always
could.
have like a short
I
story.
like this one. This was a friend's character. One day, I hope to do more covers that's watercolor because I really liked how this one turned out.
Hmm.
The of course, the OA looks a lot different. It has actually have gold embellish. And I thought about doing something with prints too, where I will hand embellish. I've known a lot of artists that does that too. Of course, it comes with a premium price.
Monty started doing that with his too. I got a
Yeah.
couple of his at Swarmfest like that.
Oh, this was Sabine's cover. Every now and then I have references. I forgot what this was. I think I was going to use this as a reference for something for this book, but I never used it. Because it is a nice pose. Statues are great.
Hmm.
Um, Hell Witch, Lady Death. The other layouts. Oh, I have so many layouts that gets rejected. This was a layout that got rejected too. It was the snake. Norse. This was rejected. They were looking for more cultural, but then I
Mm.
ended up with the Norse goddess of death kind of thing. So that's how that cover came about. And then the
Mm.
metal one, this was like the full design ish for Lady Death. See, the thing about me is like the final cover is cut off, but I like to draw out the whole character to make it look more completed as a first layout, a doodle before I go in.
I'm still after that one.
Really?
Yeah.
This one, I was very surprised that they did this for. It was supposed to be for a Kickstarter, but it ended up changing to just the Black Friday thing. So I was very surprised. Oh, I just noticed they forgot to fill the blue behind here. Uh this was very high priced.
Yeah.
It was like 300 or 300.
Yep.
This one was nice too. See, they edit the back to make it look nice. Um these were all the influences.
Harajuku Girls.
Yeah, it's mainly around. That's how I pitched it to him. Harajuku City. Yeah, I sometimes I find like inspiration. I just save it all. Yeah, this is cool, and that's how I sometimes fashion. Sozo Micah fashion. Fashion is like couture. Culture. How do you say the word?
Couture.
Yeah, fashionistas. I would love to go there. So fashion.
It's a fun place. You should go.
Yeah, one of these days. Oh,
I,
and then the sometimes the other designs. This is cool.
yeah.
Dude, the amount of time that you put on these makeup just to walk out, like, ooh, look, more lingerie inspired stuff. But yeah, so Lady Death, that's Mercy. Oh, yeah, I think these were some inspirations for this cover too. This
Oh, the
is, I,
Equinox.
I
Yeah.
think, I don't know why I saved this. Just little inspirations. I like this one by Sabine. Sabine.
Mike.
Is that Mike?
Mike. No, this
Is
is
that his old?
no. This is what's his name?
That's a nice steampunk.
I've got the metal edition of this one.
Whose signature is that? It looks like MK.
Yeah, I think it's an old Mike Chrome one. I think it's an
Because
old
he
one.
does still use the draw the scroll out. Maybe it is Microme.
Yeah, I think it's Mike's old one.
Do you have this one?
No, I wish I did.
I was surprised they did the red lipstick, honestly. That was
They're
different.
they usually don't do a whole lot of that.
That was different. Jamie Tyndall
Dons.
on. Yeah. Never know. Oh, I love Jen Brumal.
Mm.
Mm. Oh, this was supposed to be like a psychedelic. That was the theme. And I don't know if I have the layout here. Probably not. But these were like all the back then. This was AI back then
Yeah.
when it was mumble jumble random stuff. Oh, and that of course I had to look up flowers, just psychedelic images. These were old what we called AI. Some posters, some flowers, some different versions I had to edit because this was blending too much before we came out with, different versions. I guess I don't have the other layout. Hmm. But yeah. Uh,
Yeah, buddy.
this one, yeah, I don't have the reject. Oh yeah, these two were reject or not picked.
Ooh.
I like these angles, but I think it's because other people have kind of drawn it that way.
Yeah, people have seen this one, but I like the
I
one
like
before it.
this one,
I like that one.
but because I like the chain. But they decided with the the one that you got.
Yeah.
This was the color layout I gave that I kind of wanted. I mean, Heads one did great. I really liked how he rendered the piece. They told me to add candles in the front. I'm always surprised by the color choices people do. So learn quite a bit. So yeah.
Sweet.
Ah, wow. We've been here quite some time. I
We
like I
have.
said, I can talk on and on and on and on.
I'm the same way. That's why it's always a fun time.
Yep.
All right, good folks. It is giveaway time, and so we still have three people here. So this luckily won. So as of right now, we have Bruce and Funko Steve still in the comments down below. To win this book, right? Right? No, 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 no. It ain't gonna be a pick me thing.
Rock paper scissors.
No, Anna gets to pick. That's how this is gonna work. Anna gets to pick, and I'll ship it out to you for free.
What am I doing?
You get to pick between Bruce or Funko who wins the book.
I need him to pick a number from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Pick a
All
number
right.
from 1 through 10.
Pick a number, you two.
And thanks for sticking. We're just yapping and talking and talking. But anybody that's watching later, thank you.
Definitely.
That's
Thank
why
you.
it's on YouTube.
Funko Steve picks a
Nope,
7.
nope. It's whoever ends up picking that number. Bruce, you gotta pick a number. Yeah, Bruce have written his own story and drawn his own characters too. So nope, Steve,
No.
go back to
Bruce,
Steve.
Steve's turn. Yeah, I've actually got a story I'm shopping out right now.
Really?
Mm,
You're 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 uh you're writing a story?
mm. I've had a story written for a while.
Oh, am I doing cover? No,
Probably.
what is it?
It's a story about. So think of it this way, right? There's always God and death, right? That's always been
Yeah.
in the story.
Oh.
What if God takes a holiday and gives death the reins? It says, "Death, you're in charge."
Oh. Nope, those are not the numbers.
So that's kind of the first plug of the book. So
Okay.
uh,
We like playing with gods and death.
we do.
Those kind of stories are fun.
Those are. I wrote it probably 10 years ago when I first came back to comics. So it's like
Uh-huh.
I got to see how it would turn now, but I don't want it to turn into a where it gets muddled. Right? I want it to be open. Right? I don't want that. It's not politically correct. Right? And I'm not going to
Mhm.
go down that rabbit hole either. It's just a story.
Mhm.
Bruce picked two. Funko's picked nine.
No. No, Bruce.
How many numbers we got left?
I'm surprised no one has picked the number yet.
7, 4, 5, 2, 9,
There's only a few numbers left. Only a few numbers left, guys. Oh,
3.
there it is, Bruce.
Bruce, 3. Okay.
Three. Three.
All right. Well, Bruce, you got to contact me or Anna, one of us, and let me know what your address is, and I'll get it mailed out to you.
There's a three. Thanks, guys, for sticking, and whoever's watching later, thank you. I hope it's some informative, or just hearing us yap a little bit.
Exactly. We have fun.
Yep.
Um,
Thanks
and
for
that's
having me on.
always. And then next week we will have Monty Moore on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's nice.
He'll be here, and then I think we're trying to get Lauren to
Warren
come on.
Wright.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
she's such a good friend. I've been trying to push her for a long time. That's why I buy all of her art as
I've gotten
well.
her on Nerdcrawler and told her just keep drawing.
Keep
Just
keep going.
keep drawing. Um, I think she's in the process of moving right now.
That's what she told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, with everything at home. So let me know when you're ready. We'll have you come back. So yeah, thank you everybody for this night. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you, Miss Anna, for being here with
Oh,
us.
thank you. Thank
We'll
you.
definitely do it again. We always have fun when we're here. But the next time, what I'd like to do is when we're here, is have you draw something for us, if you can.
Yeah,
You
next
can
time.
next time,
Mhm.
and then so we can kind of play around with that idea next time.
We can arrange that. Yep.
Cool. All right. So thank you, Funko Steve. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, everybody out there. You guys have a good night, and we'll see
Have
you
a good
guys on the
night.
next one. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.